Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The 90th Masters is underway down at Augusta. Jose Maria Olazabal has the early lead. The two-time Masters champ is 2 under through 3. Scotty Scheffler's the favorite. His first round begins this afternoon around 1:45. Rory McIlroy, the defending champ, will begin his round in about 90 minutes. In baseball last night, the Reds fell to the Marlins 7-4 in Miami. First road loss for Cincinnati this season. Redlegs can take the series today at 12:10. You can hear that one over on the Fan, too. That's 1460 on the AM dial. In Cleveland yesterday, Angel Martinez cranked the Guardians' first Grand Slam of the season as the Guardies stomped the Royals 10-2. Cleveland's off Thursday, in Atlanta Friday against the Braves. And in the NBA last night, the Cavs beat the Hawks 122-116. 2 games remain for the Cavs in the regular season. They'll likely be the 4 seed in the East. The play-in tournament starts next Tuesday. This update is sponsored by High Bank Distillery Co. Locally inspired dishes and award-winning cocktails. Visit highbankco.com to make your reservation.
Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
I'm talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy Austin Ward. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Barry here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then
and
then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only 2 guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a Thursday edition of the program. Bo, the boys with you for the next 3. 10 o'clock, we open up that mailbag. Hear from you. Coming up at 10 o'clock, 10:30, Paul Finebaum drops by. Get his thoughts on the 5-year conversation that is taking place around college football and some of the claims from Urban Meyer, which we'll have a little bit of fun with. And by the way, I think he's true. Coming up at 10:20. 11 o'clock, the Browns offseason. Coach Todd Monken addressing the media yesterday with his quarterback plan for the offseason. Could it impact their draft and the view of the draft? We'll get to that coming up at 11. And then coming up at 11:30, it is Shelley time. Mr. Shelley will join us from Buffalo, as the Jackets continue to play Stanley Cup playoff games while not yet being in the Stanley Cup playoffs, but trying to. Last night had no impact on them. There was nothing that had any sort of impact on their standing whatsoever. I think it did cement my Connor McDavid would have been my choice, though, Bake, with pretty good timing on that. 5 points from him, 3 goals, 2 assists.
Yeah, McDavid had a heck of a night. The Washington Capitals did win, so they are back to 1 point behind you now. So that was nothing ahead of you, though. Change, you're still in the same spot.
And that'll be the finale, right? So theoretically, you would like Washington to fall off so that doesn't mean quite as much for them.
Yeah, but I mean, it could mean a lot, that last game. And could it be Ovi's last game in Nationwide Arena? His last game in the NHL.
How many goals does he have this year? He went over 30, didn't he, again?
Yeah, I believe
Didn't he just do that a couple weeks ago? I thought he went over.
Yeah, he was at 31. He might have added to that, I believe.
Yeah, he's got 31 goals this season. And I know there was that talk this week, but I'm like, if he's producing like this, the only thing that stops him if he just doesn't want to.
Like, unless he just wants to go back to Mother Russia?
Yeah.
I mean, he could put this thing...
That's always been the rumor, is that he wanted to end his career in Russia. So he may go back over there and play. I mean, who knows? Jaromir Jagr just quit playing last year, so.
He could play 10 years over there and win 10 championships.
For sure. Guys, he has 928 goals all time. You think he wants to he could put 1,000. He could get to 1,000. He plays 2 more years, he's going to get 1,000. 1,000 goals. Like, it's not that crazy to think about. The last time he had 24 goals this would have been the COVID season when they only played 45 games. He had 24 goals there. There's no other time that he's had less than 30 goals in a season. Think about that. Starting in 05-06, over 30 goals. He comes on the scene with 52. Rookie year, bangs 52. 65 in year 3. Just keeps going. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So speaking of greatness, by the way, it gets me every time. And it hits different since I've been around here. the ceremonial tee shots at Augusta. And for a while, as Byron Nelson was out there and Arnie and Jack, and Jack was kind of the young pup in those days when you first started to become aware of the ceremonial tee shots to start the Masters. And Jack was the young guy. And you watched this morning, and now Jack is the older, the elder statesman, although Gary's older. Jack at 86, Gary at 90, and then Tom Watson in the mix as well. Jack, he a little bit of a snap hook off the tee for the Golden Bear, but no harm, no foul. It gets you every time you see it, and it's different because you are connected to the Golden Bear because of the Memorial Tournament and all of the coverage and time that we've spent up there. It has to be different for the two of you, and I'm curious, Reese, for you, as a kid growing up, did you think Upper Arlington's nickname was named after Jack?
No, I'd always known.
You knew.
He was named the Golden Bear because of Upper Arlington.
Because of UA, yeah. That's a pretty UA answer, by the way, to you.
Well, what do you want me to do here? No, they named the entire...
When were you aware that he was in from your town?
Single digits.
So that's something
you're introduced
that's like,
right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a kid born, one of the babies that's born at the Ohio State Medical Center, and they get the Ohio State onesie, and it's like, okay, you have come into the world, and now you are a Buckeye. So you grew up in UA, you're aware of Jack Nicklaus from Jump Street.
Yeah, there's a lot of golfers in my family, and it's kind of, which is extra weird that it didn't take to me, but that's a different story for a summer show. You just know. You know about Jack Nicklaus, and with the memorial, you're always just around it.
Yeah.
There's no time. There's no time of the year you don't really think about it.
When did you become aware that Jack was from here?
I think I kind of always knew.
Whole life,
yeah, because my dad was a big golfer. I've golfed since I was 5. So I kind of always knew. By the way, Bo, what is Jack 86? Is that right?
He's 86, yeah.
And I mean, Jack has always looked pretty young. The last couple of years, though, you can really tell how much he aged.
Yeah.
I always think it's amazing at golf tournaments that the fans stand so close. And I understand Jack is the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah.
There's not a chance I would be one of those people 20 feet from his line of sight within 100 yards. No way.
I wouldn't do it. I don't feel comfortable doing that when it's like Rory McIlroy on the tee. Like, just in case it goes wrong. I don't need it in the side of my brain, man. Like, I don't.
No.
You're not getting out of the way of that thing.
But I mean,
you're not at all.
Poor Jack can't even bend over to tee up the ball.
No.
And he can barely take like a half swing. And these people are just standing there like, hit it at me.
Hit it.
Thank you.
He only did a little bit. Gary's 90. Gary Player is 90
he looks
years old. Well, he had a great line this week in his press conference. Did you guys hear that? How he found himself a young wife?
I mean, that dude has been on the cutting edge
of baby. Yeah.
Physical fitness forever.
Yeah, I remember. You guys remember Holly Saunders from the Golf Channel and NBC Sport or Fox? I think she was Fox or NBC. I can't remember. Marysville girl, played Michigan at Michigan State. Great friend. She interned for me when I was at Channel 10, and I remember when she was at Golf Channel and telling me stories of like Gary's fitness routine before it became like known, like what he did every day to maintain this. And he had some great lines about, well, you can't eat junk if you want to get to 90 and all these other things that you have to do, all these things that we all do, and you just got to the point where he doesn't do any of them. But it's so cool. It's so cool to see those guys. And then with Jack involved, I mean, he's our guy. Jack's our guy. And, I know he lives in Palm Beach now and has for a long time, but he's our guy. He learned how to play at Scioto. He built Muirfield Village. He brings the Memorial Tournament here every year. And when you ask him, what are your greatest accomplishments, he will talk about the 18 majors, but he'll talk about the Memorial Tournament right there with it as his greatest accomplishments in the sport. And the idea that, think of the impact that this city's golf excellence had on Jack, and then conversely, the what Jack's impact had on this city. Think of the quality golf courses in our town. I mean, just wrap your head around the golf. We have 4 top 100s, and then, and it's not even fair to call some of them. I'm not going to do it by name to not insult the folks that are there, but those that are in that quote second tier. I mean, there's another dozen that are just elite golf courses in this town, and it's incredible that we're going to have the U.S. Senior Open here, and we get a PGA stop every single year with the Memorial Tournament. That we've had Riders' Cups and Presidents' Cups and all of that, and it's just we are forever tied to the game because of Jack, and I'm sure that the quality of golf. I mean, the idea that you want to talk about perfect storm, that a kid growing up in Upper Arlington got to learn how to play at Scioto. Like, how do you do better than that? Like, it's just a feeding ground for greatness, and it's something that I never take lightly. It's something that hits different when I see Jack start this thing off every year, and that I won't pretend. I don't know him like Dom does. Dom really knows him. Know him certainly well enough, though, to where I would say hi and have talked to him a lot over the years. And there's just a connection to it. And there's a connection that all of you have, too, from the standpoint of what the impact is on the sport. And so when I see it, it feels like, Jack's hitting that ceremonial tee shot for the whole damn state and the state of golf that is pretty dang good in the state, considering how little of a season we have.
And I know we talked about it yesterday, but it's crazy that this is 40 years. I know it's the 41st tournament, but 40 years since he won that improbable Masters in 1986. And last year we had the 50th Memorial Tournament. This year is 50 years. That it's just those things that we talked about. Jack's 86. He's getting old, which means we're all getting old.
Yeah.
But it's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really cool. Some of the coverage this morning, you're just so linked. You think about what Rory's trying to do, trying to be the first guy to win the Grand Slam and win the Masters back-to-back, joining Tiger and Jack in that company. Most Masters wins, they're synonymous with greatness. 6 for Jack, 5 for Tiger, 4 for Arnie. Like, come on. The best players in the game are at their best there, and it is underway at Augusta National. In terms of the tournament, lots to get to on this front, too. This is one of those sporting events that whether you love golf or not, you're probably going to be paying attention to it. It'll do a massive number here. The anniversary of Jack, the anniversary of Nick Faldo as well with one of his, and the collapse of Greg Norman. So there's a lot of stuff going on here this week at Augusta. We'll take a look at some of those featured tee times, take a look at what to pay attention to. Meantime, coming up a little bit later in the program, the NCAA appears to be listening to this show quite often because where we are headed appears to be some of the things that we've talked about a lot. We'll get to that coming up in about 18 minutes. We're off and running on a Thursday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
I'm Roger from Columbus. I've lived in Ohio all my life. Owning your home is a cornerstone of the American dream. But for seniors, property taxes keep going up and are costing us everything we've worked for. They're even making it impossible for my grandkids to afford their first homes. Vivek Ramaswamy believes when you own your home, you're in charge. As governor, he'll roll back property taxes to levels from before the end of the pandemic. It's a practical plan that will put thousands of dollars back in your pocket next year while maintaining strong education and dependable police and fire. Ohio's politicians have ignored this crisis for too long. But Vivek Ramaswamy isn't a politician. He's an entrepreneur, and he's ready to fight for you. Ohio needs a leader who makes your life more affordable. That's Vivek Ramaswamy.
Lower costs, bigger paychecks, better schools. Vivek Ramaswamy for governor.
Paid for by Vivek Ramaswamy and Rob McCauley for Ohio.
Men, we all know how important sex is in a relationship, both for you and your partner. But erectile dysfunction ruins sex, which can often have serious impacts on your relationship as well. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if ED is a problem in your life, you understand the impacts it has on you and the one you love. But I'm here to tell you that ED is a treatable condition, and almost without exception, you can have really good sex again. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men with protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, good sex will be the norm. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a level of intimacy for you and your partner that might just astound you both. It's time to have really good sex again, so call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices in the tri-state area to serve you.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. At Germain Toyota of Columbus, it's all about you, your drive, your style, and your budget. Stop in and see Marcello. He'll get you rolling. Germain Toyota of Columbus on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or check them out online at germaintoyota.net.
Get comfortable with Logan Services. Get a free water heater with the purchase of a qualifying train system when you schedule your installation now. Find us online to schedule your free estimate. Fast, friendly service, Logan Services.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
Common Man and Timmy.
Bed knobs on broomsticks.
It's raindrops on roses. Mellow mitten.
Common Man and Timmy Afternoons on the Fan is sponsored by the Hinderer Motor Company.
Do you want a job that is flexible, secure, and fun? It also offers excellent pay and is ranked as one of the best jobs in America, too. I'm talking about being a dental hygienist. And all you have to do is complete a 2-year program after high school. Visit OTAA.org to learn more and to start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
This is Lieutenant Governor Jim Tressel. If you're driving and take a quick glance at your phone, more can happen than you might think. Because taking your eyes off the road for even just a moment is like driving the entire length of a football field blind. Don't let those few seconds distract you from what's right in front of you. Phones down, eyes up, Ohio.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Plenty of sunshine for us today. A beautiful day ahead and warm with highs in the mid to upper 70s and breezy winds. We get mostly clear skies tonight with our lows in the 50s. And then for Friday, we will see a partly sunny day with chances of showers and storms developing in the afternoon and evening. Winds will be breezy and highs in the mid 70s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 weather impact forecast.
All the Ohio State conversation you can handle. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Your Ohio State flagship station. The Fan. Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
Indeed it is. And brought to you by our great friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for nearly 8 decades. The Masters is underway. In terms of the early goings, I think Olathable's at 1 under at this point, and it's very, very early in the going. In terms of times that you want to pay attention to as it goes around, they do such a great job. They do some featured pairings when it comes to the way that they do their television, and again, it's kind of limited. I think it's Paramount Plus and Masters.org are the only 2 places you can watch this morning, and then if you are at work and you're hoping to keep an eye on things, so that's where you will until noon, and then at noon it goes to Prime. You'll be able to watch a little bit on Prime, and then ESPN at some point this afternoon picks up their coverage as well. So that's kind of the setup of it. In terms of the guys you want to pay attention to, leaderboard stuff, Jason Day at 9:43. I used to say when I was at Channel 10, Columbus is Jason Day. He lives here, but I acted as if he was a native. What do you guys make of his outfit? You guys see the outfit with the birds?
I have not this year. Is it?
Throw it into your X search there. Give yourself a Jason Day. I want to hear your live reaction to it. Reese.
Do you remember, Bo, like all of our grandmas had that clock on the wall? That's what it looks like. It reminds me of my great-grandma's house and the clock in her living room.
It would be great wallpaper. Like, I could absolutely see it in my grandmother's kitchen as wallpaper. Yeah.
That's the first thing I thought of. I was like, oh, great-grandma's clock.
So do you have it yet, Reese?
Yeah. That's Wild Birds Unlimited, baby.
So that company's Malbon. Every year at Augusta, he gets this bump of attention that comes from the outfit that he wore. Remember a couple of years ago, the rain gear that he was in that we talked about that was Malbon? So I'm too old for it. There's just no way I can rock that stuff. Like, it's really baggy.
Don't sell yourself that short.
I think there's very few people that can rock that.
So the birds on the outfit are an ode to Georgia with birds that inhabit the state, such as cedar waxwing, Baltimore oriole, white-throated sparrow, eastern bluebird, scarlet tanager, common yellowthroat, chipping sparrow, mourning dove, northern cardinal, blue jay, summer redbird, red-headed woodpecker.
That's pretty good.
So
they got them all represented.
Yeah.
So he had the pants too.
Oh, there's a raincoat variant too.
There is.
Wow.
And there were pants. So he wanted to wear, folks, if you haven't seen this and you're driving around trying to envision it, just imagine like a bunch of variety of bird that Reese just mentioned, like wallpaper with like a kind of a cream yellow background is that fair? Like, I think that's kind of the look that I'm trying to explain. So it is a pattern. It's patterned. And there's a top, and then there were bottoms that went with it. And Augusta said, yeah, you can't wear those pants. We're not going to have that. And so he said, yeah, no problem. So he's wearing a plain solid pant with that on the top. And Malbon wins in this. Now, I don't know if it will cause anybody to rush out and buy it. If it's something that you think you could rock, my guess is they're targeting a much more younger generation than I currently occupy, because there's no place I can rock that stuff. But they win. They win for a couple years in a row. And by the way, it's their, I was on with T-Bone and Tyvis yesterday. We were talking about this a little bit. Like, it's their perspective. This is an invitational. They invite who they want. They literally send you an invite in the mail. In the physical mail, you get an invitation to the Masters. Now, there's some guys who get in, but they can pull you for whatever you want. Wasn't Mark Calcavecchia bounced because he was carrying his cell phone? So they threw him out? Like, they don't care. They do not care. They're inviting you. If you don't like their dress code, don't play. Pretty simple. It reminded me a little bit of Wimbledon with Andre Agassi.
Yeah.
If you remember that in the early 90s, like, he was known for the kids out there, he was known for his loud patterns, neons, oranges, yellows, all of these things. And Wimbledon said, you can play here, but you can't wear that. And he acquiesced. He acquiesced to it, because that's what you do. You're invited.
So every morning I put out a tweet at 971BFS detailing what we're going to be doing for the show today. And if you want to see Jason Day's crazy outfit, I've posted the picture with the corresponding birds on there as well. But I had the gif of Rory getting the green jacket put on. And there are several people behind Rory that are also donning green jackets. Yeah. And I thought to myself, well, those don't look like golfers. And it's the chairman, it's the people that run Augusta. They get a green jacket. Mm-hmm. I hate that idea. Like, it's almost as if you're giving Gary Bettman a Stanley Cup for running the NHL. Like, so they should get a different color jacket because they didn't win the Masters. Green jackets should only be for, in this instance, guys that win the Masters. They've got the same thing on. It's like, well, you bozos didn't do anything.
I'm asking. I knew that was the case, and you may have a very valid point here. Is there any difference between a Masters champion green jacket and a Masters and an Augusta members green jacket? Because there's a difference in the logo. A lot of people don't realize this. So the yellow flag logo, I have some of it. I'm sure you guys have seen it around town. Anybody who goes to Augusta, you can buy that. You can only buy it there. You have to physically be there. You can't buy it online, but you have to buy it there. And it's got the yellow flag on it. And there was a story last year, I think ESPN did, that basically Augusta pays for the entire tournament on the merch, that pays for all of it and then some. Like, they make literally tens of millions of dollars in merch sales this weekend selling this stuff. And so from that, so that yellow flag logo, that's the Masters logo. The member logo actually has a green flag, and it says AGNC on it. Is like on it, but it's a different logo. The member logo is different than the logo that you get as a patron or a fan. So I'm curious if the coats are slightly different.
Yeah, I don't know if the coats are different, but that patch sure is.
Yes, yeah, it is.
There.
Yeah, so I wonder if, like, for the guys who are members, do their coats have the green flag to differentiate? Although I guess my hunch is probably the only people wearing a green jacket around there this weekend are members. Like, the players aren't wearing them other than for the dinner, right?
So Craig in the YouTube chat says, Reeser wants Jason Day's bird jacket to be his Masters jacket. No, I would like it if I won the Masters ever. I just want the green jacket. Those guys who run the club, they can wear the bird jackets. Literally any other color you can pick. Just not that shade of green.
Bo, I love...
That's my gripe.
That's your gripe, yeah.
It's stupid.
One of the things I love to do here early on is, Jose Maria Olazabal is at the top of the leaderboard right now early, and Reese and I were talking about this yesterday. Like, he's a guy that's always right there, for the first two rounds. He'll make the cut, and then he kind of trails off because his game isn't what it used to be, but he still knows. Augusta National so well.
Yeah.
I like trying to make myself feel a little better, and I like to look at the bottom of the leaderboard right now.
Okay. Who do you got?
I see Carlos Ortiz +7 through 6. I can relate to that. I can relate to that, Mr. Ortiz. So it makes me feel a little better about my game. Of course, through 6 at Augusta, I would probably be like 12 over at least, maybe more, 15.
You couldn't. The problem would be the putting. In many instances, I think you'd probably putt it off the damn thing. I think you'd putt it off the surface in many instances. I just think being able to hold, because they don't even have rough. It's the second cut. So there's really not a whole lot of trouble. Especially on the first few holes, there's not a ton of trouble. So even if you blasted it left or right, you're going to be able to scramble and get up there in decent form. But then it's once you get up there, being able to stop it, that would be the problem on those things. Some of the featured ones to pay attention to today, probably the first one that is kind of a headliner. They do this around 10 o'clock. You're going to get DeChambeau, Fitzpatrick, and Schauffele at 10:07. That will be followed by at 10:30, Rory, Cameron Young, and Mason Howell. There's another 10:43 that's pretty good with Hovland and Cantlay. Freddie Couples, there's not a person who plays golf who wouldn't want that swing. At 66, it's just as smooth as butter as it always had. He's at 12:15. Rahm and Oberg at 108. The afternoon's pretty good. Spieth, Rose, Koepka, 120. Scheffler, McIntyre, and Woodland at 144.
Did you see where DeChambeau has been doing printed irons, printed drivers?
Yeah.
He's doing a 3D printed 5-iron for his first round, but it, as of right now, has not yet gotten USGA approval.
You know what's going to happen? He's going to win the damn thing, and then he's going to be playing with an illegal club. Isn't that on brand for him? I'm surprised. When does he go off? So he's 10. I just said it, 10:07. He goes off in a half hour. He's made the decision to play that club.
As of right now, all the reporting says he's going to try to get it approved before.
In 30 minutes?
So what is the rule with the Masters and the USGA and the conforming and all of that?
Great question. I would assume that they follow USGA rules on it. I mean, they don't have their own rules. They have some of their own, but it's not PGA, but it's USGA governed, I would assume.
Because I'm pretty certain to say that he isn't saying I'm going to use that without somebody giving him the okay.
He might.
And also, why just a 5-iron?
You know him.
He made the printed clubs. Why not all of them?
He must have felt like that at Augusta specifically, there were certain shots where he needed that distance and loft.
Well, and it was, he even talked about, he went even further, Bo. He talked about the way the club travels through the grass there.
Yeah.
And why he couldn't hold certain greens and whatnot. Like, he was looking into everything on this.
I'll tell you what, he is ultra popular with the kids. Like, we were on the way to school today, NBC, Beamsy, they were all over DeChambeau, both of them. They love his YouTube stuff. I think it's awesome. And so, NBC was like, he was such a crash out, Dad. And then he flipped it. And I'm like, yeah, he was. He was a little bit of a crash out.
I will say I like him a lot this weekend, too.
Yeah. A lot of people do. Fish telling me Pavlino wears Malbon all the time.
Yeah, the youths.
That's on brand.
I want to see it. I need a visual of Pavs rocking that stuff.
It isn't the wild stuff. Because I don't think all of Malbon's stuff is crazy like that. He ain't wearing great grandma's clock. I can guarantee you that.
I'll tell you what. If they have a vest of this, if they got a vest of this bird, I might be able to rock that with like a white polo. Everything else would have to be very solid, though.
His outfit Friday is going to have a vest that's like 3/4 of the vest is birds, and the top part's a nice beige, and then he's got a yellow tee under that. It's a little softer. I think you could.
Man,
I think I could rock that.
Boys
vest.
are going to hate their next lacrosse tournament.
Yes, they are. I post up in that.
Yeah, Hunter sent his entire week's look to us, and so I've reposted that at 971BFS if you want to see. I guess it's Tuesday through Sunday fits.
You put this up? All right, you put this up on the X? Okay.
Sure did.
All right, oh my God.
Friday you could do.
Friday I could definitely do.
Oh my God.
That's tame.
This is unbelievable. Look at the bagginess of this pant.
The belt's also a little too much.
Is he wearing a jacket on Sunday? He's wearing like a dinner jacket?
His
Wednesday fit looks like he's going fishing.
I was going to say, his Thursday fit looks like he's going hunting or fishing. Like,
amazing. It's amazing.
What are we doing?
All right, I'm going to spend some time in the next 2 minutes on the Malbon site and see if there's anything that I need and see if there's anything I could wear. If Pavs is rocking it, I got to have one article of Malbon clothing. The NCAA's been listening. We'll detail it in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Pelotonia has proven there are no limits to community impact. We've raised more than $339 million for innovative cancer research at the James at Ohio State. Now, new routes let anyone be part of Ride Weekend. Mountain biking, trail running, and hiking join Gravel Day. And Pelotonia Kids welcomes our youngest riders because there's only one finish line that matters: ending cancer. Register today.
Family owned and operated. It isn't all sunshine and rainbows. This is Dennis Sullivan, president of Care Heating and Cooling. Here's something you don't hear admitted very often. When you run a business with your family, you don't always get along with them. We argue, we debate, we have real conversations about the decisions that we make. But at Care, every conversation comes back to our priorities, doing right by our employees and our customers. Because when you treat your team like family, they take better care of the families they serve. And when you treat your customers the way you'd want your own family treated, trust follows. That mindset doesn't always maximize short-term profits, but it builds something better: long-term relationships. Today, more and more local companies are being bought by venture capital firms, where maximizing profits often leads to a sales-first mentality. Care is still family-owned and locally operated, so we can keep people, not profits, at the center of every decision. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
Coffee, sandwich, hash browns. Tired of the same breakfast routine? Time to refresh your morning ritual with a $6 Tim's Trio from Tim Hortons. It starts with a premium blend of freshly brewed coffee, a hot, savory breakfast sandwich made with freshly cracked eggs, and for a tasty twist, a daily baked donut to sweeten the deal. Ask for the $6 Tim's Trio. Your morning ritual refreshed. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, must ask for offer. Medium coffee only. Terms apply.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
What's up? What's up, man? What's up with you?
All right. I'm so distracted by the day outfit. I don't even know if I can do the NCAA thing. The Birds of Georgia Fairway Polo is sold out on the Malbon site. It's gone. Can't get it. The Birds of Georgia Ridge Anorak jacket sold out. It's gone. You can't get it. The vest that you were talking about, Reese, is $198. It is sold out in every size except small.
I wonder what they're going for.
I believe it's worked
on eBay, because that feels like in 2026 especially, or like StockX, where somebody comes in or creates a bot, gobbles up the merchandise that they can, and then resells it for double, triple the MSRP on the site.
The hats sold out. You can get it's a bird watching vest that you can get for $228. You can get that, and you can get like the Blue Jay knit polo. You could get that, which is in kind of like a soft lemon kind of color, is what I would describe it as. And the pants you can get. I bet you can.
So
I bet you can get those pants.
I need to know, like, are there Americans buying this, or is this all Europeans and Australians, or what's going on here? And also, the Sunday outfit looks like a headmaster at the Catholic school.
Can I get the Sunday outfit? I wonder if I can get it. Let's see. New arrivals. That's the one that's got the jacket, right?
Well, it looks like a Mr. Rogers type sweater vest.
Is that a cardigan? Can you get a cardigan with this thing? Yeah, you can. No, I don't see the cardigan up here. No, I don't see that. So it doesn't look like that one's. I'm sure it will be made available, but as of right now, it's not. So we'll keep an eye on. But this, by the way, they win as big as possible. Like the amount of time that's been spent on this, and they're sold out. It's all working. I don't know where you're going to rock that stuff. That feels like an impulse buy, like on your phone. Last scroll on the phone before you go to bed, and all of a sudden you look at that thing. You've been looking at it all day. Oh, what the hell? I need a Birds of Georgia polo. That's probably the way that thing goes. We've been talking about this. Actually, Deep Throat Nick, we talked about this briefly yesterday. Deep Throat Nick brought this to our attention probably 2 months ago. There's been a lot of traction for this. It was in President Trump's executive order as well. And it was one of the things that we praised about the Tommy Tuberville bill, which was, let's put some statute on this thing. Let's have some rules in terms of how long that you can play. I don't need to see Diego Pavia playing his 7th year, Trinidad Chambliss playing his 7th year, the quarterback at Virginia getting a 7th year. Let's have some sort of rule on this thing. And the NCAA has been listening. And I think what I like about this is something that they can actually do and maybe enforce. maybe enforce. As long as they make it black and white with no shades of gray, they might be able to enforce it. But an NCAA panel is scheduled to meet and discuss potential changes to eligibility that would incorporate age into the process. The proposal would give athletes 5 years of eligibility with the clock starting at the earliest of two dates, either when they turn 19 or when they graduate from high school. There would be limited exceptions, but they would not involve injuries, which would have been a common reason for players to ask for extra eligibility. If they get rid of the limited exceptions, you got a chance here. You've got a chance. If you just have to say life isn't fair, you've got to 24 to play college athletics. And I'm sorry for the Chris Wankes out there and the Braden Whedons out there. You rolled the dice and you played professional baseball, and it didn't work out to the way that you wanted to. If you want to transition to professional football, you want to go back to playing football, go play in the UFL. Like there's just, to me, and I understand. Look, I feel for the Mormon missionary kids who go to BYU, but you got 5 years. You're going to basically lose a year of eligibility in the old traditional way. You're still going to get 3 years in there to be able to play it. And I think if they do that, then this has a chance. When you give the limited exceptions, we talked about this briefly yesterday, that's where you're going to run into court over and over and over again. And I think if you just get rid of those, you got a chance with this thing. This is, I think, something most of us would sign up for. 19 plus 5 is 24. Graduate from high school plus 5, 23 or 24. That's it. The clock starts then. And to me, you got a chance here. If you give the limited exceptions, I think you're going to spend more time in court, which is, you feel like they wouldn't want that, but God, they just continue to end up there.
Their lawyers certainly want it. Those billable hours.
Jeez.
I think this is as sane of a proposal as there's been, right? Where you see, okay, there's a path forward with what this entails. And I do think maybe this could, with some players that are losing out on eligibility because of injuries or life or missions, regardless of their religion, maybe the UFL can step in and say, we can offer.
Yeah.
Like there's a path forward where if those players don't get the eligibility they desire, life is life, and we all have to deal with it, and things that come our way, and we have to overcome or react to those different things. If some hardship befalls you, then the UFL could become a track to the NFL instead of college, where you could still be developed. So I think a lot of people can win if they take the proper advantage of this.
I think, when we talk about this all the time, like a regular student can transfer and go from another school to another school as long as the credits line up. And even if you don't line up or whatever, however, you just pay your money and you can go to the school.
Yeah.
If I've never been to college, I can go back at the age of 30. I can go back and attend Ohio State as long as I meet all the criteria. And I think that's one of the areas they're going to get pushback on this. And we talk about it all the time. Well, a normal student can do it. Why can't an athlete? I think it's going to be, you're going to have that same pushback there with this.
I think you bring up a fair point. They will have to find some sort of way, if they're going to enforce this, they're going to have to come with some sort of way of saying, and this is a bridge to the CBA and all of that. And that's, I think, what you're getting at there, Bake. They're going to have some sort of distinction that says college athletics is different from pure college. And then that's when they're going to get into some trouble, probably. I think this has a chance, though. I do think this has a chance. There's all sorts of things that you can put on an enterprise to say these are the rules of this enterprise. Will it be challenged? Potentially, it could, but probably not a whole lot. The two examples I gave are very rare. You had that example, Bake, of the guy who was playing. Where was he playing at? Was it Oakland University in Michigan?
Yeah, Oakland this year. He's 28, and he didn't go to school till later because of family situations.
Yeah, which sucks. I mean, it sucks that that's the case. But I guess from the biggest challenge to this will be, how do you enforce it? And the biggest challenge to the enforcement will be what Bake just said. How am I different than any other student?
And I think the coaches want this.
Of course they do.
And so if, when you talk about enforcement, if you just have the coaches all agree as best they can, we're not getting into business with any of these players that have exceeded that 5-5. It's got to be on them to make those choices.
We keep saying the coaches want this, but do they?
I don't know.
Because they keep circumventing everything. They keep going and getting these
Some
players.
do, yeah.
If they really wanted this, they wouldn't go do it.
I think they want winning more.
Of course they do. That's all. So why wouldn't they fight for a 25-year-old?
They don't want to fight. They want to push all of the rules or lack of rules that they can until they get rules. Then once they get them, I think that if that makes sense.
It's the definition of insanity, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. They will. We will push or break whatever the rules are supposed to be because right now they're not enforceable and it doesn't matter. But I do think they would want this guardrail. I don't think you'd want it. You don't want to be dealing with 25, 26-year-olds. So this, if they could find a way to enforce it, it gives them a chance. I do think they're going to have some trouble because what you just said, Bake, in terms of, well, they're just they're just students. Just what's the difference?
You know how we could enforce this is the universities and the conferences. When Nate Oates tries to do what he does and says, well, everybody else is doing it, just say, no, you're not allowed. We're not doing this.
It would take uniformity. It would take everybody involved in the sport to say, we are abiding by these rules and not fight for kids, to your point, not fight with kids to get around the rules. You'd have to do what's right for the sport is what you'd have to do. And you'd have to leave your own potential gains aside, which is a tough one. So when something like Chris Wanke or Brandon Whedon comes up at Florida State and Oklahoma State, you say, yeah, we can't. You're too old. I'm sorry, it's cooked. We can't do it here. And it would take everybody signing up for that. It would almost take everybody signing up for, these are going to be the rules and we all agree to them. And if you did that, then potentially you'd have a chance. They're at least minimum this. They're talking about some things that are more doable. And what I like about this is it doesn't have anything to do with limiting money people can make, because as soon as you do that, you have no chance. So at least now we're opening our eyes to, okay, what can we do about age limit? What can we do about 5 years to play 5? What can we do there? That's something that you can try to fight. You can't do anything if you try to limit the amount of money a player can make on an open market. Can't do it. Buckeyes going to need a new sheriff in the back end of that defense. Who potentially could that be? We will get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
With Aetna, I always get a quick answer, and I don't have to search on the internet. They go above and beyond to help me with whatever I need.
Those words from a real Aetna Medicare Advantage member speak to why U.S. News & World Report named us a best Medicare Advantage company. Because we show up on calls with members and doctor's offices when requested. We show up with access to convenient care options. We show up for you. Because that's how healthier happens together. Member feedback has been edited for length and clarity.
This one's for the landscaping pros. If landscaping is your business, you know the right equipment matters. Gravely is built for long days, clean stripes, and professional results that keep clients coming back. And right now, during the Gravely Mow the Distance sales event, you can get up to 20% off Gravely commercial mowers. It's the Gravely Mow the Distance sales event, April 9th through the 19th. Visit your local Gravely dealer today.
Put more money back in your pocket this spring with special rates as low as 8.99% APR on debt consolidation loans from BMI FCU. Transfer your high-interest credit cards today. Apply at bmifcu.org/consolidate.
As the seasons change, it's time to prep your HVAC system with a $49 seasonal tune-up from Columbus Worthington Air. A seasonal tune-up can help save money on your energy bill and help prevent expensive breakdowns. As your local home service experts, everything we do is backed by our exceptional service guarantee. It all adds up to dependable service from neighbors you trust. Columbus Worthington Air and Bryant Heating and Cooling. Whatever it takes. Visit cwaohio.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 47543.
For over 78 years, our family's been part of your love stories. At Diamond Seller, we offer bigger diamonds, better prices, and timeless designs for every chapter of your life. From your first yes to your forever I do, trust the jeweler who knows diamonds best. Visit Diamond Seller today.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Now is the time to call Comer & Cross and transform your garage with a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor. Maybe your garage floor has exposed concrete with stains and cracks or a bad epoxy or paint job. Well, the new Comer & Cross garage floor will transform your entire garage in just one day. Now, here's the great part of this whole story. If you call them right now, they're going to take 50% off installation. Yeah, that's right, 50% off installation from Comer & Cross when you call them today at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. A Comer & Cross garage floor is the gold standard, guaranteed to never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. Plus, they make it easy. They'll take your stuff out of the garage for you. They'll fix your cracks and pits perfectly like it's a new garage floor, and then they'll apply the proprietary finish that you pick. Yeah, I said it. They'll fix your cracks and pits. What's wrong with that? That's what you want. So call them today at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR to get 50% off installation. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to comercross.com.
Tee to Green with Skip Mosick.
Saturday, we'll talk Masters with PGA professional Paul Hollenbaugh. Plus, we'll head down to Augusta with SI.com's Bob Harrigan.
Tee to Green with Skip Mosick. Saturday mornings at 9 on The Fan.
Fall is a season of change, and Hinderer Motor Company is turning over a new leaf with big savings. This is Justin Hinderer. Right now, any one of our participating locations is paying up to $3,500 over Kelley Blue Book value. That's right. Drive in your current vehicle and leaf with one of ours today. Don't wait. The leaves are falling and so are the prices. At Hinderer Motor Company, we love what moves you.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. Mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Columbus, Worthington, Air, and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
The best hair on the air. You are listening to Bishop and Friends.
Man, the closer and closer we get to the NFL draft and the idea that 3 Buckeyes who started in the back end of the defense are going to go in the top 10 of the draft, it hits you like, holy smokes. Number one, how great was that defense that we got to watch last year from a talent standpoint? And then number two, how do you even begin to replace all of that? We certainly know, and we talked a little bit of linebackers last week in terms of what that's going to look like, and certainly Peyton Pierce is going to be a very, very big part of that in the linebacker room. Be very curious to see what they do with Christian Allegro, who else is kind of in the mix there. And the back end, obviously, there is no replacing Caleb Downs. Terry Moore is the most likely candidate to be in the mix. Earl Little will also be in the mix there in the safety end. And then they'll need Jalen McClain to step up in a big way from a leadership standpoint and an accountability standpoint. But these are massively talented players and huge personalities, just forces of nature that you're going to have to try to find replacements for. Let's start with Little. Little is the latest Bama to Buckeye transfer, and he was available yesterday, and he kind of gave some thoughts on the differences between Florida State, Bama, and Ohio State.
Definitely the competition, day in and day out. Like literally, like we're competing in the weight room, with different, different exercises. Like literally, like I've never been a part of something like that, competing in the weight room. Like so just the level of competition day in and day out is second to none, and that's definitely a separating factor.
Yeah, it certainly is. He's going to have to get up to speed pretty quickly. He says so far so good on that.
Just the role they brought me here to play. It allowed me to play free and just play my game. Not do anything outside of the scheme, but play the Coach P's scheme and what he wants me to do. It's been great. I've been gelling with the guys, having fun, just moving around in different parts, and playing fast. Yeah.
Matt Guerreri is going to be in charge of the back end of this thing. He spoke on the depth at safety that Ohio State has this year.
I do think there's depth there, yes. I think from guys that have joined us, guys that are returning, I do feel like there's a little bit of a deeper group right now compared to where maybe in years past you saw a lot of snaps from a few familiar faces, So you've lost impact players, but I do think there's some depth there, and it's our job, if the guys earn the right to be on the field, to put them on the field.
The other thing you could see, and we're seeing this kind of in all sports, you're seeing it at the NFL level, seeing it more and more in the college level, and that is using 3 safeties at once and kind of having that umbrella coverage. Guerreri weighed in on that.
I think if you look at us over the last 2 years, disguise has been huge in what we do, right? Whether we're showing 1 high safety, 2 high safety, 3 high safeties, all of that. I think anybody who plays us would say that too, but Tim and I take a lot of pride in, okay, let's make it hard for a quarterback to have to work post-snap. Like pre-snap, if you're just lining up in one thing, you're going to eventually, unless you're just that much better, right? Eventually they've got schematics that are going to try to take advantage of that. So, yeah, the disguising, whether it's right now this year or over the last couple of years, that's important all the time, yeah.
If you play the game, where are your biggest question marks around this team? It's the back end. It is. Because you had a human eraser back there for the last 2 years that if there were instances where they were busts, he made up for it. There is no replacing Caleb Downs. Terry Moore's going to try. Earl Little's going to try. In the cornerback room, we'll hear from Devin Sanchez in a minute. He's going to have to elevate in a big way. He was a massive recruit last year, was thrown into the water sometimes. And sometimes it didn't go so well. He was picked on. I mean, let's just be honest with it. And so, if you look at this roster, I really have no concerns at all on the rest of the defense, that they're going to be fine up front. I think Peyton Pierce is ready to explode. Everything I'm hearing on Allegro is he's ready to go at linebacker as well. Pettijohn isn't even playing in spring, but that the pedigree's there on that. It's this back end. This is where... and the reality is you're going to get Arch Manning and that operation week 2. And I'm guessing they'll have a little bit of a different approach as well. So this back end has got to get up to speed really quickly.
Yeah, it's one of those things where people say, the spring's not all that important. The spring game doesn't necessarily matter. And I'll push back in that respect with the new guys that you talked about having to replace really one player and one coach kind of on the field. Like, this is really important for them. And they've, the 3 guys brought in from the transfer portal on that secondary, you're going to ask 2 freshmen to at least provide competition in the spring and in the fall, and Bradford and Thomas. But to have those guys have played a lot, have played at a lot of places, have seen a lot, and then to be able to bring that expertise to Ohio State. And you've also got great confidence, I think, as an Ohio State fan base in the coaches that they have, in Matt Patricia, in Matt Guerrieri, in Tim Walton, that they can all make this work before you come out in that week 2 game against Texas. And I am interested to see, with what you don't have in Caleb Downs in that field general, does that change if Matt Patricia stays on the sideline or goes up into the booth?
Yeah.
So I may be crazy here, and I know that Caleb Downs was an all-timer, and there's no way that you can replace him. But I have full confidence in the back end of this defense because of Tim Walton and the job that he's done there in recruiting, and Matt Guerrieri. I think with Devin Sanchez and Jermaine Matthews on the outside, you are perfectly fine. It sure sounds like Earl Little is getting used to things quickly and is going to be a great addition at that nickel cornerback spot, maybe even an upgrade at that nickel spot. And Jalen McClain, we saw him take a lot of strides last year, and everything you're hearing about Jalen McClain in his spring is he's ready to take over and be a leader back there. So I have no concerns about the back 7 of this defense. I think the linebackers are going to be very good. Are they going to be Sonny and Arvell? Well, no, not right off the rip, but I think you've got plenty of guys there, plenty of talent. I think the same on the back end. My biggest question on this defense is what you're going to get from the defensive line.
Yeah, I mean, they went portal pretty big there with Walker and Smith. Houston's still in the mix. I've heard good things about Atkinson so far this spring. Kenyatta Jackson back, of course. I think I'm still a little bit – I think for me, it would still be the back end. Everything you say is right. And look, we're picking it. We're looking for things. We're looking for faults here. There's not a whole lot to really worry about with any of this. But I just think maybe we didn't fully realize, we talked about it a lot, but you didn't maybe realize how much Caleb Downs did. And that's the only thing. As good as these guys have looked, how do you possibly live up to that level? I mean, he's a supercomputer back there. So and again, when we're saying it's the opposite of valedictorian of summer school, right? Everybody here's a 4-point plus. It's just, if you have concerns, where are they? Yours would be up front. Mine would be in the back end. Where would yours be, Reese, on this entire roster?
Same, just because of Caleb Downs, and you're replacing that. And I think to Guerrieri's point, to the point you had made about just disguising pre-snap, I think did so much for those other levels to be so successful. And so you've got to be able to have at the same level, because you're getting week 2, higher level. I would think Texas is better this year than they were last year in the time that Ohio State plays them.
The one thing, too, that gives me confidence in this defense is going into last year, sure, you had Caleb Downs and you had Sonny Styles, and you thought that Arvell Reese had the potential to be what he turned out to be. But you were replacing 8 starters last year, and you're off of a number 1 defense in the country, and your defense got better. Yeah. Now, I don't know how the defense gets better this year. I don't know if they can. I don't think they will. But I still think, and I'm very confident, that this is a top 5, top 10 defense in the country.
Yeah, and the defense shouldn't have to, because the offense should be better, too. So those two things should all marry each other. Second hour of the program coming up next. Mr. Finebaum coming up in 35 minutes from now. We kick it off with your email. It's coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Bobby Carpenter demands that you watch Morning Juice on YouTube. If you don't, Tito will move into your house.
Live at 6 a.m. on YouTube and streaming on the Fan app.
Does your Ford need service? At the Capital Ford of Columbus Service Department, our factory-trained technicians use genuine Ford Motor Company parts to keep your vehicle built Ford tough. Get your vehicle serviced right the first time at Capital Ford of Columbus in Whitehall.
Recently, our company softball team lost the big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Dale's a loser. I play to win, like early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later. Sound familiar, Dale? Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, energy bills have been crazy as of late, which has had our phone ringing off the hook. Pella windows give you both a home makeover and often an energy bill makeover.
We hear that all the time at the other window place. We love the makeover. No, wait. We want a do-over. That's what they say. Is do-over and makeover the same thing?
Get the windows that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus at PellaColumbus.com.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2026 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to partner with 10TV and The Fan to relaunch Raise the Roof, honoring local heroes going above and beyond. We are calling on you to help us recognize the volunteers, educators, first responders, and everyday difference makers who are making a meaningful impact in your community to be recognized on 10TV and The Fan. Send in your nominations and stories to 10tv.com/raisetheroof. 10tv.com/raisetheroof. Nominate a local hero today and help us raise the roof for those who make a difference.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial Pound Law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Coffee, sandwich, hash browns. Tired of the same breakfast routine? Time to refresh your morning ritual with a $6 Tim's Trio from Tim Hortons. It starts with a premium blend of freshly brewed coffee, a hot, savory breakfast sandwich made with freshly cracked eggs, and for a tasty twist, a daily baked donut to sweeten the deal. Ask for the $6 Tim's Trio. Your morning ritual refreshed. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, must ask for offer. Medium coffee only. Terms apply.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending, the original home of the no-cost mortgage. If you've been in the market for a new home or just wanted to take advantage of lower rates, recent events have shown exactly why Miller Lending chose to offer a way around bad timing with our no closing cost program. With no fees rolled in or charged, including the cost of title insurance, you can simply close on today's rates and refinance free of charge as rates improve. Over the past several months, we spoke to numerous borrowers who had heard rates were coming down and chose to wait. We explained that if rates did fall, you could simply update a few documents and refinance again, but why take the chance? So when rates spiked to 0.5% recently, not only was I disappointed that we couldn't help those who waited, but also for those buying a home who just saw a sharp increase to their monthly payment. So while we can't control the market, we can offer an alternative. Eliminate timing and say goodbye to closing costs forever. 877-9-NO-COST or simply apply online at nocostmortgage.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
Aviators football returns Friday, April 17th, 8 p.m. kickoff. The first 5,000 fans through the gates take home a free team flag. Grab your tickets now at uflaviators.com. United we fly.
There's an old story about cat toys that's been retold for over 20 years because it perfectly explains who we are. This is Dennis Sullivan, president of Care Heating and Cooling. Years ago, a couple who shared their house with 3 cats had another company out to look at their furnace. After working on it, the technician said it was dangerous and had to be replaced. The couple called Care for a second opinion, and my dad Mike went out to help them. When he inspected the furnace, the cause of the problem became obvious. A cat toy had been stuffed into the heat exchanger. With the toy removed, the furnace ran perfectly. Now, how did the toy get there? You can decide for yourself, but here's what mattered then and still matters now. The first company paid commissions to their service techs to sell new furnaces. At Care, we pay our technicians to fix furnaces, not sell you a new one. And if a new furnace is needed, our team of replacement specialists will advise you on all options available and help you make your best choice. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Two-time Masters champ Jose Maria Olazabal shares the early lead as the first round rolls along at Augusta. Olazabal 2 back through 7. Sam Birds is also at -2 through 2. Rory McIlroy is the defending champ. He'll tee off 30 minutes from now. Scotty Scheffler, your favorite. He'll begin his first round this afternoon at 1:45. In baseball, the Reds had their perfect road record broken last night in Miami. The Marlins got a 7-4 win in Game 3 of a 4-game set. Reds can take the series today at 12:10. You can hear that game over on the Fan, too. 1460 on the AM dial. The Guardians have Thursday off. They'll play in Atlanta on Friday. In the NHL, the Blue Jackets skate in Buffalo tonight against the Sabres. Faceoffs at 7. Hear it on the Fan with coverage at 6:30. Rick Bowness says Jet Greaves gets the nod in net. Jackets are 2 points out of a playoff spot. They'll skate Saturday in Montreal. This update sponsored by High Bank Distillery Co. Locally inspired dishes and award-winning cocktails. Visit highbankco.com to make your reservation. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
Putting up with Tom Tiberi for a decade, the broadcast gods gave Bo these two. This is Bishop and Friends.
Paul Finebomb coming up in 28 minutes from now. We kick off the second hour with a little bit of that mailbag. Open it up, fellas.
Our comment box is always open. Any feedback is mostly appreciated.
The mail never stops. It just keeps coming and coming and coming. There's never a let up. It's relentless. Every day it piles up more and more and more. You got to get it out. And the more you get out, the more it keeps coming in. Again.
Bishop and Friends present emails.
All right, let's. We got an update from Pavs here. The esteemed Jeff Pavlino, one of the greats. He wears the Malbon. He writes us, classic stuff. I don't have enough swagger for the Birds of Georgia line that Jay Day is wearing, but then he sends some of the ones that he's chosen that he does have. These are all perfectly fine. These are all, and this is all, for a top G like Pavs, this is all stuff that I would totally expect him wearing. Apparently his Saturday rounds are a little different than the rest, so that causes the elevation into the Malbon world for him. But he can totally pull this off.
I also love that Pavs has obviously worked his schedule out perfectly here so he can work from home and watch the Masters today. Because he's just ripping stuff out of the closet right away and sending pictures.
Ready to go. He's ready to go. He's ready to go. We got some good dose of mailbag this week. We have some golf stuff that we'll get to in just. Actually, we'll do the golf stuff now since it's top of mind with this. Let's start with this one from Scott. The email title is Golf Movies. In honor of the Masters, which golf movie is the best? Now, this is tricky because my long stance on this with sports movies there are two types. There are funny sports movie, and then there are emotional sports movie. So in the funny sports movie world, you get Happy Gilmore and you get Caddyshack. And those two, depending on your age, would probably be at the top. Tin Cup's pretty dang good. Tin Cup is pretty great. It's just a great movie. I wouldn't pick it probably. I'm more of a Caddyshack guy, and then Gilmore would slide in under it, and then I would have Tin Cup kind of stand alone. The others are like Legend of Bagger Vance. There was a show on Apple TV called Stick that Owen Wilson, I gave that a
good?
drive. No, I gave it one episode, and I just realized that it occurred to me that Owen Wilson hasn't acted in 30 years, and he's basically just himself always. It's kind of where he just is himself. Like, that's it. So I just couldn't take him doing. He basically was like the guy in Wedding Crashers, except he was trying to teach golf to a prodigy. So I didn't take. I watched one episode of it, but for me it would be Caddyshack 1, and then Tin Cup and Happy Gilmore kind of vying for second. But Caddyshack is almost perfection for me.
It's Caddyshack for me, and then there's a chasm. Gilmore's right up there. The greatest game ever played, Shia LaBeouf's in that. It was okay. Came out in 2004.
Boy, I don't know that at all.
So it was. You watched it when you're in your teens, and you're like, this is fine.
So, as someone that is the age I am, like, Caddyshack is great, but Happy Gilmore will always hold a special place in my heart. And you mentioned one, Bo. I'm glad you did mention it. I think it is a very good movie and underrated. I love The Legend of Bagger Vance. I think that's awesome.
It's very watchable. The only thing that's kind of tricky about it is Matt Damon's swing is pretty bad. For a guy who's supposed to beat Bobby Jones, it's pretty bad. A little bit bad on that. I don't mind it either. I think it's fine. I think it's pretty good. Tin Cup you don't see Tin Cup much.
It's a good one.
And it's great. You would never do what he did, what Rory McIlroy does on the final hole of the U.S. Open. You would never behave in that manner, like someone would grab you and say, knock it off. You're at the U.S. Open. Just lay up and go win the damn thing. But he did it.
That's the governor of Montana you're talking to. You don't tell him anything.
That is John Dutton. Deceased former governor. Murdered in office.
Supposedly.
The autopsy's a little hairy there.
How off the rails did that get at the end?
Have you tried any of the spin-offs?
No.
Don't.
No.
The Marshalls thing is dumb. I don't have any faith that Rip and Beth are going to go down to Texas and do more murdering. Like, that's no interest.
No, I think that my view on that is I think Taylor Sheridan. Now, I watched a few episodes of Tulsa King, and that was pretty entertaining. The first season of 1923 is really good. The second is an abomination. Landman. And then Landman's great. I think he wrote the end of that series out of spite for Kevin Costner.
I think he's going to Paramount, too. So a lot of this stuff, he's like, I'm gone, suckers. Or no, he's going to Peacock.
He was at Paramount, and so he's not involved with those shows anymore. He was writing 10 shows at once. He's made $1 billion.
Reese,
that guy.
Why do you say murdering? I mean, everything they did was people that attacked them. Why?
Yeah,
I think the one that got me where I was like, oh, the shark has been so jumped. I don't remember what season it was, but there was one where there was a tactical attack of 30 people murdered all at once. And I'm like, okay, we're a bridge too far here, kids. And that was either the beginning of the second or maybe the third season where that kind of happened. I think we answered this one yesterday from Zach. Would you rather play Augusta one time with any foursome or have tickets to every Sunday round of the Masters for life? What would it take for you to choose the other? We both said to play it. What if it was tickets to the final round of the Sunday of the Masters for the rest of your life with full transport?
That's the key right there. Everything chartered.
Everything's easy.
You pay nothing.
Private plane in. You're put up in a good spot. Still into the play. All right, what about this? What if once every 10 years you can be entered into the lottery to get to play? So you may win it. Would that make it be something you'd reconsider?
No, not for me. Because there's no guarantee you're playing it. So I can watch it at home on Sunday. To play it once? Come on.
Yeah. This one is unbelievable. From PJ, who I believe is a loyal.
So I've also got images and video that.
Oh, you got images.
Go with it.
Okay.
It's incredible.
I'll read this from PJ. Boys, my limitations were truly tested last Wednesday. So I get home around 4 p.m. after work. Upon arrival, I needed to run down to the basement to grab a tool. My tools are located in the furnace room in our basement, which has a door into the room that we usually keep shut. When I entered the room, I noticed some debris and a small cap on the floor. A few inches behind that, I saw paw prints. This is where the panic began. Almost immediately, I recognized they were raccoon prints. I quickly left the room, slammed the door behind me, called my fiancée. She happened to be pulling into the garage as I called her and told her about the unfolding situation. A few moments later, I throw on some muck boots and grab my 6-foot D-pole, former lax guy, and prepare for an ambush. I re-enter the furnace room and clear the corners like a Navy SEAL. After a minute or two, I find the intruder, freaked out, and ran out of the room again. Parenthetically, I don't blame you. Once I discovered the raccoon, I sealed up the door as best I could and proceeded to call every animal control company in Ohio. Of course, at this time of day, most places were booked or closing, could not get to us until Thursday morning, so we scheduled a trapper for the morning. It's about 6 p.m. at this point, and we're feeling pretty uncomfortable and continue to go back and forth on whether or not to stay in the house with our new roommate or leave and come back when the trapper arrives. We decided to hold down the fort. So we attempt to go through the rest of the evening as normal until about 9 p.m. The nocturnal nightmare awakens and tries to establish residency by moving about the furnace room freely, probably looking for food or an exit. This sends another wave of uncertainty through us, and I sprint down to the basement to ensure it has not gotten us to the rest of the basement and try to secure up the door from the furnace room a bit more. After securing up the door again, we felt confident that even if it stirred around, it could not get to the finished half of the basement. There is no door at the top of the basement steps. So if it were to get over there, it would get upstairs to the rest of the house. At 11 p.m., my fiance passes out. He writes, parenthetically, she's crazy. Meanwhile, I'm wide awake, watching some hoops on mute. The anxiety is killing me, so I decided to just go lay on the couch in the living room for time being. At about 11:30, I can't take it anymore. I run to my parents' house 5 minutes down the road, grab a trap. My thoughts were, if it's going to run around, and maybe I'll at least run into a baited trap. 90 seconds from falling back into the door, my fiance FaceTimes me panicking because she can hear it getting loose, and by God, it did. I tell her to get dressed, come outside immediately. I run in the house, barricade off the kitchen like I was preparing for a shootout. It's the OK Corral now. So now it's midnight. I've got the outside door just near the top of the basement steps wide open, a narrow tunnel for the thing to just run out the door. After about 15 minutes, I poke my head in the doorway and see it creeping up the steps. This scared the hell out of me and made me jump and yell, which in turn scared the raccoon. So, of course, the thing goes back into hiding for at least an hour. I'm camped outside the door in 50-degree rain, making sure it does not come up the stairs and go into the kitchen, while my fiance stays warm in the car. My tiredness is increasing as my patience decreases. I'm calling everyone who claims to be open 24/7. No one answers. I call the guy who was coming in the morning and left a voicemail saying, I'll pay double if you come right now. No answer. I had hit my limitation. The next call I make is to the non-emergency police line. I explain the situation with desperation in my voice. She replies only with a, we'll send someone out. Then 3 heroes arrive. The boys in blue show up to our house at 1:30 in the morning. They go down to search for an unwelcome guest. 15 minutes later, no luck. I'm starting to feel like the boy who cried wolf. I tell my fiance, these guys are going to hate me. Not even 30 seconds later, they found him. He somehow found a way into the drop ceiling and was just hiding there. Then the fight began. I ran out of the room when it busted through the ceiling tile and just prayed they could get him. It sounded like someone was resisting arrest down there as they wrestled the thing in between the washer and the dryer. Good God. A pull snare. And finally, about 2:15 in the morning, they walk his ass out of the house and release him in the backyard by the edge of the property. I didn't sleep a wink the rest of the night. We had to get basement cleaned by biohazard company before real cleaners would come in. After further investigation, we concluded that the raccoon got in from the chimney our old house has that is called an ash cleanout at the bottom, and the cap that was covering it was deteriorated enough for him to push his way into our basement. I have since then installed a mesh cage on the chimney and duct taped the absolute hell out of that. Shout out to my local PD. Make sure you all check your chimneys or any other potential entry points for animals as the weather warms up. Much love, fellas. Thanks for always keeping me entertained. That's unreal.
It's amazing.
That's unreal.
And the video that he sent has...
Who's got a video of it?
Cops with a freak on a leash. And this raccoon is just tearing it, just trying to get away from it. And I wondered, like, if you could get the body cam footage from those officers.
That's what I want.
It's incredible.
Come on, we got to see it. Someone's got to have it. With PJ's approval, we got to find that. I want to see the body cam from the cops. God bless the boys in blue.
And, like, we could all see the image, and PJ does a great job of, like, describing it in detail of the raccoon busting out of the drop ceiling.
Oh, you see... He busts through.
You don't have the video, you don't have the image of it, but the way it's written does a good job. That
I love that he's like, I run out of the room as he busts through the ceiling.
I don't blame him. You're all brave until you're in the spot, man. I thought I was going to have to eradicate a bird from the garage last week, and I'm not looking forward to that in any sort of way.
But I know how old Pops would handle that on the Ponderosa.
Well, I'll tell you, once caught, would not have been returned to freedom would have been the short answer of that one. We'll continue with your emails and an interesting claim from Urban Meyer coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner of Don's Garage Door Service. Most repairs are simple, but if left untreated, they can turn into costly repairs. Your garage door works hard every day, and a little maintenance goes a long way. We fix garage doors fast with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. Over 90,000 five-star reviews don't happen by accident. They happen by putting people first. Fixing your garage doors is what we do. From repairs to upgrades, call Don's Garage Door Service today.
Common Man here for Weed Man. I talk to you about Weed Man every year. Why? Simple. Number one, I use it. Number two, it works. You want to get those lawn roots thick, baby, because when that happens, they resist weeds, disease, and insects, and they're using top-of-the-line stuff. We're talking golf course quality. Weed Man is locally owned and operated by Corbin and Audrey. They will take care of you. Proudly serving Central Ohio and our Dayton friends. Call your local office, 614-733-3747, weedman.com.
Hey, it's Austin Ward. Listen to The Beat with Austin and Byrne, now powered by the Waterworks and Header Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Get the latest Buckeye news, insights, and unbeatable analysis every day. Don't miss a moment. Stream The Beat with Austin and Byrne, sponsored by the Waterworks and Header Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Austin Ward here, fired up for warm weather, golf season, longer days, more time outside. Ride the momentum and finally drop the weight you keep saying you will. With Awaken 180, it's fast, easy, and we're all proof that it works. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
The weather in Central Ohio just got better, so why shouldn't your loan rate? CME Federal Credit Union wants to try to beat your current loan rate by 2% on autos and toys. Plus, enjoy no payments for 90 days on car loans and no payments for 60 days on motorcycles, boats, and more. With car rates as low as 4.99% APR and toy rates starting at 6.5% APR, it's the perfect time to save. Apply today at CMEFCU.org. Terms apply. Minimum floor rates 4.99% APR cars, 6.50% APR other vehicles. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey Central Ohio, it's Andrew from Home Team Solutions, and yes, we buy houses for cash the easy way. We've been buying houses for over 20 years and we've seen it all. Whether you've inherited a property, you're behind on payments, the house needs work, or just want to avoid the hassle of listing, we've got you covered. No repairs, no clean out, no stress, just a fair cash offer and you pick the closing date. We've helped hundreds of homeowners sell fast and hassle-free, and we're proud to have 5-star reviews all across Central Ohio and an A+ rating with the BBB. If you're ready to sell your house the easy way, call Home Team Solutions at 614-962-SELL. That's 614-962-7355, or visit us online at selltohometeam.com. Home Team Solutions, local, trusted, and family-owned. Again, that's 614-962-SELL. 614-962-7355 or selltohometeam.com.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or give us a call and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Plenty of sunshine for us today. A beautiful day ahead and warm with highs in the mid to upper 70s and breezy winds. We get mostly clear skies tonight with our lows in the 50s. And then for Friday, we will see a partly sunny day with chances of showers and storms developing in the afternoon and evening. Winds will be breezy and highs in the mid 70s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 weather impact forecast.
Common man, a radio veteran, has a large hemorrhoid. Timmy Hall, a good, clean boy. Moonlights as man's hemorrhoid. Common man and Timmy.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan. If you love a good pie analogy,
think of the cap as a pie. And once you take out one piece, there's less left for the next guy.
then this is the radio show for you. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Here from Urban in just a second. Paul Finebomb coming up in 10 minutes. Question about the Browns draft plans as well from Brian. One from John real quick here. Love the show, guys. Any thoughts on Travis Kelce being at the Masters? Thanks for the daily info and entertainment, Tony. It didn't bug me. I know some people were bugged by it. Some people were bugged by Kevin Hart being there as well. It's the par 3 contest. The fact that we get to see it or that people are interested in it, I'm not too worried about if Travis Kelce is there or not. I'm curious how he's used, if at all, in the broadcast. Because who was the I'm blanking, Gary, who said that their greens were bikini waxed and then they threw him out of it. He never came back again. Long time on the Gary McCord. He was on the CBS coverage for the longest time, and he made some comment about how their greens were so fast they were bikini waxed, and then Augusta said, that's it, you're never coming back here to cover this. So I would imagine that it will be pretty muted on the actual broadcast from the ESPN. I don't think you're going to have him breaking down holes next to Scott Van Pelt or Andy North, but I don't care about him being at the par 3. It doesn't bug me at all. I did hear Fred Ridley say that he goes, it wasn't that long ago we had the who were the Dude Perfect guys playing Frisbee at Amen Corner. That may have been a bridge too far. So
I didn't see really any of this yesterday with Kelce or Kevin Hart there. It's the par 3, though. I have no problem with it. I will say this. I don't need him on the broadcast coverage of the actual tournament. Yeah. That does nothing for me, and he'll bring nothing.
I saw mostly the social media reaction towards it, and you can understand it skewed negative. Yeah. And I think, well, it's the par 3. It's a Wednesday. That's probably what the TV partners for the Augusta want. And I can't imagine Augusta cares much because it's not the actual tournament. It's just for funsies.
Yeah, and if they do care, he won't be back.
And also, I think Bryson got his 5-iron approved.
Oh, he did get it approved.
Yeah, so he's he's already out there.
All right, very good. One more real quick. This one for Brian. If you were the Browns and all the Buckeyes were there at 6, which one would you take? I'd take Carnell Tate.
Carnell Tate.
I would too, and I hate that because I think Caleb Downs is the best player, but there's just such a need for Carnell Tate with the Browns.
Yeah, I think that if you're the Browns at 6, first of all, if there's one player who if that email is true and they're all available, the one that I think would probably make them the happiest because then they could trade out for more assets would be Arvell Reese. If somehow Arvell Reese fell to 6 and let's say Dallas wants a replacement for Micah Parsons and they want to come up from, I think they're at 12 to 6, and then you also net like their second round pick and a future 1, now we're talking. One thing you're not going to see next week or in 2 weeks, it's 2 weeks from today, the NFL draft, you are not going to see anybody trading 2027 first round picks. That ain't happening. So you're going to get whatever that package would look like. That would probably be something that my hunch is that they would enjoy. But my personal choice would be just stay at 6 and take Carnell Tate if he's there.
In that scenario, I need both of the Cowboys first. I need 12 and 20.
Do they still have them both?
Yeah.
They do?
I need 12.
It's the Rams who got rid of them. Okay,
I need 12 and 20.
12 and 20 to go to 6. Now you're picking 12, 20, and 24.
And I still don't love it because you're losing Carnell.
I need a 1 from next year if I'm the Browns, and you want 6. I need a 2027 1. That's where the conversation starts.
Yeah, I don't think I'm with you. I don't think you're going to see a single future first round pick traded for 2027. I suppose you could trade out to 2028, like a 2028 one, but I don't think you'll see anybody get rid of a 27 one. That draft, good grief. Those quarterbacks, Jeremiah Smith, some of the defensive talent, the kid from South Carolina, the kid from Texas, some of the talent in that draft, I don't think anyone is trading out of 27. And, I mean, Arch is going to be at the top of that. And I just think everyone's going to want to have an at-bat with Arch Manning. Urban Meyer, the Triple Option Podcast, it's a heck of a listen, and he's so candid about everything. One of the topics of conversation this week on it was the Big Ten dominance, and we'll talk about this with Mr. Finebaum in about 5 minutes, but the idea that the Big Ten's won the last 3 national championships in football, won the women's basketball national championship with UCLA, and then won the men's basketball national championship with Michigan. Urban on Triple Play kind of gave a little window into his thought process once he got here and how it changed. And have a listen.
I'd like to think we at Ohio State were a big part of that. We went from saying, let's compete in the Big Ten. I said that to our staff, and everybody said we are no longer. We called it the chase. You know who we were chasing? Alabama. In 2012, we went undefeated, and I went down and watched Alabama just beat the mess out of Notre Dame, and I said that our team would get crushed by Alabama. And I challenged every player that night on the phone, every coach, and we recruited nationally from that point forward. And so we're going to go get the best players, not just the local players.
It's probably his biggest legacy is 7-0 against Michigan. That's the number one thing that I think people will remember forever. The improbable 14 national title, obviously. But just in terms of, like, impact, forget about, like, cool moments that his tenure provided, as I just mentioned. You want to talk about the impact and kind of the shift of the program. I think what Urban Meyer did at Ohio State is he modernized it in a blink. It took that Alabama, witnessing Alabama, he's told that story before, witnessing the dominance of Alabama, saying, well, we're going to do that. He became the first guy that said, we're not just going to take a kid from Ohio because he's from Ohio. We're going to take the best players in the country, and we will get the best players in Ohio too, but we're also going to recruit the best players in the country, and we're going to win. And I think that he deserves a great deal of credit for the modernization of the program, even everything from the social media, what they did at the Woody to get it up to speed. Look, I mean, Tress had been here for a long time, and some of the program had gotten a little bit stale by the end, and Urban was a shot of adrenaline that's maintained now. I mean, good Lord, 2012 is year one. It's going to be the 2026 season. I mean, that's almost 15 years ago when he started. And it really has maintained that into the Ryan Day era, which is now how many years in?
Yeah, where Ohio State would not be where it is without Urban and the infrastructure that he left for Ryan Day and how forward-thinking he was with the sport. It's almost like John Cooper crawled so that Urban could run, because Coop was kind of the first to break out of that Ohio fence. Tressel did it a little bit as well. I don't think he did it anything more exceptionally than Cooper did it. But from a national recruiting standpoint, it was really when Urban supercharged things.
Yeah.
It's funny that Urban talks about this and says after the Alabama game, after he saw Alabama play Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that it was right off the rip, because I've heard stories of him coming in to talk to coaches of Tressel recruits and asking about the players, and the coaches would be like, yeah, this player's great, great family. And he was like, I don't give a rip. Can this dude ball or not? So I can't believe that Urban wasn't like that from the beginning anyway, and I can't believe that there was another level even after he watched Alabama play.
Believe it. You're right. He came out he jumped on a treadmill going at whatever the fastest clip is. 15. Well, yeah, he went and he won over Noah Spence in like a week, who was the best defensive end prospect in the country out of Pennsylvania. He never even met the kid, and he sold him on Ohio State in like a week, and that was a massive recruit at that time. But yeah, it took a level up after he saw that Bama dominance. We'll get some perspective on this, among other things, with Mr. Finebaum in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter, and spring is here, and it's time to hit the road with something new from Germain Toyota. Right now, get into a rugged 2026 Toyota Tundra with just 2.99% financing for up to 72 months. Power, performance, and capability ready for every spring adventure. Or cruise into the season with a 2026 Tacoma SR5 for only $299 a month for 36 months and $39.99 due at signing. Fresh deals, fresh rides. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or online at germaintoyota.net.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. I love my Kubota tractor, RTV, and zero-turn I got from Green & Sons, and you can check them out online at greenandsons.com or visit them in store in Mount Sterling or north of Marysville and Raymond for all your Kubota needs.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Now is the time to call Comer & Cross and transform your garage with a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor. Maybe your garage floor has exposed concrete with stains and cracks or a bad epoxy or paint job. Well, a new Comer & Cross garage floor will transform your entire garage in just one day. Now, here's the great part of this whole story. If you call them right now, they're going to take 50% off installation. Yeah, that's right, 50% off installation from Comer & Cross when you call them today at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. A Comer & Cross garage floor is the gold standard, guaranteed to never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. Plus, they make it easy. They'll take your stuff out of the garage for you. They'll fix your cracks and pits perfectly like it's a new garage floor, and then they'll apply the proprietary finish that you pick. Yeah, I said it. They'll fix your cracks and pits. What's wrong with that? That's what you want. So call them today at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR to get 50% off installation. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to comercross.com.
When you are a member of Tel-Ohio, your money works harder for you. Lock in 4% APY on a 24-month CD and watch your savings grow with a credit union built for its members. Visit telohio.org to learn more.
Federally insured by NCUA. Membership open to anyone in Ohio. Restrictions apply.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination. Bishop and Friends present college football's most polarizing figure.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Come on back to our show, Tim. The audience hates you.
This is ESPN's Paul Finebomb, sponsored by the Roofing Guys. For all your roofing, siding, and gutter needs, contact the Roofing Guys at theroofingguys.com.
All right, Mr. Finebaum, have you ever covered the Masters? Have you ever been to the tournament?
Yes. Back to my newspaper days, I got the assignment and covered it for about 20 years, and saw. I guess the most amazing thing was Tiger's first win. That's something I'll never forget. But it was the first time, Bo, as most people listening can relate if they've been there. It's a little bit like Alice in Wonderland.
So that's what I was curious, because so many have not and will never get the ability to walk those grounds. You used Alice in Wonderland. To me, my hunch would be that it would feel like walking, to your point of walking onto a movie set. And what are some of the things in terms of what the parameters they put on you for coverage, if any? Once you are someone who is credentialed, what is that all about?
It has changed. When I first went over there nearly 30 years ago, there really weren't any. And to tell you the truth, I didn't know what was a guy who had covered golf for the newspaper had died. So I was kind of a last minute replacement. And I went into a place and sat down and ordered lunch, and there was nobody in there. Because I was told you could do that. You could go into a lot of places. I didn't realize until I started seeing some very familiar names that I was in the Players Lounge at Augusta next. So when the bill came for my, burger and fries, I really didn't know what to do. I was afraid I'd get kicked out if I said I was in the wrong place. And I will tell this for the first time. I signed the check, Arnold Palmer. Did you really? And got up and ran. And so Palmer got stiff for about a $9 burger. But there was no. I mean, I had a hat on and sunglasses, and at the time, 30 years, I looked like I might be an aging golfer. But it's truly remarkable. You can almost. I don't think you can do it anymore. I haven't been in a couple of years, but you can literally go anywhere. You can walk into at the time. I walked up into the champions locker room. I mean, it's everything. I mean, it's a little overdone on TV for obvious reasons, but it's incredibly hilly. It's very pretty. It's kind of stuck in the middle of just a awful piece of property on Washington Avenue or Washington Road in Augusta, between a bunch of Hooters and Shelley's and dollar stores. I mean, it is. You would never believe where you are.
That is an unbelievable story, Arnold Palmer. That's great. Well, did you at least order an Arnold Palmer? Did you order the drink?
I'm glad I didn't. I was convinced every time I saw one of these green jackets walk by that I was going to be called up and sent home on the first trip to Augusta.
One of the things that you hear from people who have been there like you did for so many years is it's very difficult to get in, but once you get in, it's as cool as it gets. And when you say that you could go anywhere, that's awesome. Thank you for telling that story.
I'll tell you one more story on that, because it doesn't matter, Bo, if you're from the Weekly Reader or Columbus or Cleveland, once you go, you're in, because it wasn't all that easy to get people to go back in the 30s and 40s. So one year, it was 1994. I've been covering it for 9 or 10 years. My boss said, listen, I know you love going to Augusta, but we got a bigger story in town on Friday night, so you can't, and I'm like, are you out of your mind? So it was the Birmingham Barons debut of Michael Jordan. So on Friday night, I'm covering this game thinking, okay, my trip to Augusta's have ended. Saturday afternoon, I get a call from a guy. He said, hey, I'm flying over to Augusta tomorrow. Do you want to go? I said, absolutely. So on Sunday morning at 9:30, I am waiting in line to get my credentials, and I'll never forget. I think it was John Feinstein, the great writer, looked over to me and like did one of these, rubbing of hands, like, oh, the nerve of you to show up at Augusta on the final day to preserve your credentials. But I did, and thank goodness I did, because 2 years later I got to see the greatest collapse I've ever seen, Greg Norman blowing a 6-shot lead, and then the next year Tiger won.
Oh my gosh! Did you ever play it? Did you win the lottery to play?
I will. Let me save that for the next time.
Okay, next time.
Because the story, or I don't know how much time we have, but I had the opportunity to play once, but I didn't. It's easily maybe done in my life.
Yeah, I bet so. That was awesome.
Save
Great
that story for a rainy day.
We'll take it on a rainy day. No rain here today, sun-kissed and among other things. But the sun has been shining on the Big Ten Conference. 3 straight football national championships, women's basketball national champ, and yes, we'll claim it. UCLA is in the Big Ten, and then Michigan winning the basketball as well. How much attention is this getting in your neck of the woods, knowing you the way that I do and knowing your constituency the way that I do? My guess is the 3 straight footballs are much more alarming than anything else. But how much attention is being paid out of the SEC about this?
Getting quite a bit, though, because every unemployed drunk in Michigan has called this week to remind us of that. and apparently it's a lot. So, I mean, these guys will call in and go, hey, what do you think? And I'll go, I don't respond. And like, my feeling is if somebody wants to call in and give us crap, I mean, at least make a phone call. Don't make me do the work. But, yeah, it's a big story down here. And what's so interesting with the calendar changing, I mean, here we are. I got the notification yesterday of when media days are for the SEC, and we're 3 months away from will the SEC go 4 straight years. It seems like we were just there last June and July.
Yeah, absolutely. Life comes at you fast, and there's no question that these Big Ten schools, I mean, these are big money places, and while they don't necessarily, some of them don't have Texas oil or Oklahoma oil or benefactors that have chicken finger joints like LSU. There's a lot of industry up here, and it appears they're very well organized on this NIL front. And the one thing that I think is going to be fascinating down there is how some of those football mad places specifically adjust, if they can, to the idea of they can't afford what some of these schools up here can afford.
Yeah, it was interesting. Greg Byrne, the athletic director at Alabama, said a lot of things last week, but the thing that he said that really resonated with fans is he said we have to be very economical and wise about how we spend money. And we had an agent on the day before who had said Alabama is still trying to live on the Saban discount, meaning get players for less. And they're losing players, as everyone in Ohio knows. And we have callers now who are calling in and railing about, why isn't Alabama cheating more? Why aren't they buying players? And it's hilarious because the AD just looks like, we're going to abide by the rules. Nobody wants your AD to say you're going to abide by the rules anymore.
No, they don't. Because there aren't any, and none of them are enforceable, so don't worry about it. It's just who's got the biggest, pound of cash. That's kind of the way that this thing goes. What did you make? We talked about the Tuberville stuff last week, and now some of the Dellinger reporting that the NCAA is trying to do a 5-year, 19 to 24, or once you graduate from high school, 5 years to play 5, just get rid of the red shirts entirely. Any teeth to this?
I mean, these things make a lot of sense, but you get that dump at the same time as you get the presidential executive order dump. So it's a little hard to sort it all out. The NCAA plan makes some sense, but here it is. Are we going to trust the NCAA? And I say that knowing that we're about 6 weeks away from spring meetings where you're going to hear more and more talk, Big Ten, SEC, everywhere else about, screw the NCAA. Let's get away from that and do our own rules. So that's why I just can't ever take too much that Charlie Baker says seriously.
I know it. I'm with you on that. This is your alma mater, and it's rare that you and I talk women's basketball, but I wanted to run the Tennessee situation by you. I'm of an age that I certainly remember Pat Summitt and the dominance, and in the story this week, one player left on the roster. How does this happen at Tennessee?
Well, yeah, there's some disputing exactly how accurate some of this reporting is, but there's no disputing. By the way, I agree. I tend to believe it's accurate, but some fans are pushing it. It doesn't matter. The perception is this program is officially dead, and I get more calls on the Tennessee women's basketball program than any other women's sport because it's such a strong fan base. This was UConn before UConn, and it's just really sad. And it's all about the athletic director, Danny White, who decided to fire a coach 2 years ago who was taking Tennessee to the Sweet 16 pretty much every year, but not getting to the Final Four. He made a change, and the program has capsized. And it just shows you how personalities matter. It's about her. It's not about the program. And it reminds me a little bit of Nebraska in football. That once you lose the brand, you're not getting it back.
No, you're not. I talk about that. No one is immune to that. You miss, and it's you can't dig out of it. Good stuff as always. Really enjoyed the Masters tales, my friend. That's unbelievable. Signing a check, Arnold Palmer. That's spectacular. That's great.
Don't tell the family, please.
Don't worry, no one's listening. You're good. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Thanks, bro.
There he goes, Paul Five. That takes some stones to sign it, Arnold Palmer. We'll do a little thing or not a thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Big Voice Guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction or your money back. File in the Credit Karma app.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Dr. Mark Levy can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring. Sleep better. Live better.
At Baths R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement. As the Midwest's fastest growing 5-star bathroom remodeler, we're more than just transformations. We're a community driven by a mission to bring your dreams to life. Our installation team, part of the Baths R Us community, isn't just skilled. They're dedicated to respecting your home. Each day, they bring craftsmanship and hustle, turning your dream space, no matter the size, into reality. Together, we embrace a culture that values diversity, collaboration, and giving back. From supporting local projects to fostering a workplace where every voice is valued, Baths R Us is more than a company. It's a community of experts. We're also expanding locations to create more possibilities for homeowners across the Midwest. Wherever you are, you'll find us ready to turn your dreams into something you can see, feel, and enjoy every day. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement, or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate, or go to bathsrus.com. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
Say goodbye to car care headaches with Carvenience from Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. For only $49, we'll pick up your vehicle, leave you with a rental, and return it fully serviced and spotless. No more juggling your schedule or wasting hours at the shop. Carvenience lets you focus on what matters while we take care of all the rest, making life easier. Schedule your service today at HindererMotorCompany.com.
It always seems to happen at the worst time. You're finally in bed after a long, hard day, and then you hear it. You sit up, heart sinking. Is that coming from the ceiling? All of a sudden, it's a middle of the night flashlight hunt to find the leak. But don't worry, Newman Roofing has you covered, literally. With more than 3 decades in the business, we've seen just about everything a storm can throw at a roof. Our teams know how to spot the problem, explain your options, and fix it right the first time, with craftsmanship and care you can feel good about. We're not just here for a quick patch job, and we never will be. We're here to make sure your home stays protected season after season. So when it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, choose the company you can trust, Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
After an audit of our programming, the suits here at the Fan decided we needed more baseball. And that common man is stupid. Good news. We fixed one of those problems. Catch the Reds on the Fan all season long. Yay, baseball.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Listen up. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Dr. Mark Levy's been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results. And now he has an office in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
My husband's an animal in bed.
Well, you know.
Not in the fun way. Think warthog. With a chainsaw.
Snoring and sleep apnea affect over 90 million people, and 1 out of 4 couples sleep in separate rooms. Advent can help. We've been your one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care under one roof. Advent's unique approach can help you breathe and sleep better, and many avoid a CPAP. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
Hey, the only animal you want in your bed is your dog.
Advent. Sleep better. Sleep together. Learn how you can improve your life at adventknows.com.
All your favorite Fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. They'll offer betting advice, but don't bet on it being good. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a Thursday. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Even with the Final Four and national championship not on CBS, it was apparently the most watched men's basketball championship game in 7 years. The Wolverines over the Huskies averaged 18.3 million viewers. It peaked at 20.4. It's the most watched, again, ever on TNT Sports. That's up 23% from the 2024 game. Tournament viewership across TBS, CBS, TNT, and TrueTV finishes the second most watched since 94, averaging 10.9 million viewers. That's up grand total 7% from 2025. Thing or not a thing?
There's a lot of layers to this. I think the first thing that jumps out to me is this is a freshman class that the average sports fan was very aware of. You were very aware of Darren Peterson. You're very aware of A.J. DeBonsa. You're very aware of the Boozer twins. You're very aware of Darius Acuff as it went along. But the barrier of entry, the Peterson barrier of entry, and all of that talk about, is he playing? Why isn't he playing? Is he load managing? All of that helped create awareness for the sport. And people would tune into those games or tune into other games, and then they would get hooked because of the quality of play. So I think that's the first thing. The second thing is NIL has essentially eliminated Cinderella and the mid-major. And here's the truth. We all like Cinderella. We like the upsets. What we really like is blue blood. What we really like is big brands. And you had a lot of big brands, despite the fact that you had a Sweet 16 without UCLA, Kansas, North Carolina, and Kentucky the first time since 1954. It was all brands that were in the Sweet 16. And so I think those things all helped create this. I don't think this was by accident. And we knew that this was going to be a big one because of all of the things that we've talked about.
I think it also goes to show you, as much as we complain about sports going every which way and being on every platform, and I know that this was TBS, which if you have cable or some kind of provider, most of them have that. It just goes to show you, we're going to find sports.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what they do with it. This wasn't on CBS, which I thought was really weird, that the Final Four wasn't on CBS. But didn't matter. Record-breaking numbers. Sports, we are going to go find it. No matter what, kicking and screaming, we will go.
Yep.
This is just for you, Baker. Golf writer Alan Shipnuck has a new book, Rory, The Heartache and Triumph of Golf's Most Human Superstar. He joined Jim Rome yesterday to talk about McIlroy's emergence as a leader in the sport.
You know, you mentioned the last book I did about sort of this existential battle between, for the soul of golf, between the PGA Tour and LIV. And of course, Rory was at the center of that storm. And he really emerged as this dynamic figure. He saved the PGA Tour in a lot of ways, and the esteem for Rory went way up across the golf world as this leader of men, as this commanding presence. And he's always been fun to watch play the game. He's always been a thrilling performer, but as he's become more polarizing, he's become more interesting, he's become more dynamic. And so I started working on this book in the spring of 2024. And it was a gift from the golf gods that he won the Masters the way he did. It just gave the book a great crescendo and really a happy ending, and kind of completed this quest that we've all been on with Rory. So the timing was excellent, but I just think Rory is by far the most interesting player in the game today. And when you think of the three biggest stars of the last 30 years, it's Tiger, it's Phil, and it's Rory. And two of them have their lives derailed by addiction, by scandal, by greed, by vice. But Rory has conducted himself in such an admirable way. Like, he just has a certain classiness. He has a certain human touch.
Thing or not a thing?
Yeah, I don't know that that's going to land for some people, including Bake. I do think that, he's trying to sell a book here at the end, and I certainly get that part. And he had me up until the very end of that, because I think there's a lot of things that Rory has done recently that hasn't been something that a lot of golf fans love. He was always one of the most popular guys on tour, always. And I do think that the first part is dead on, that he was the one that had to stay. More than Tiger. They offered Tiger more, but he was the one that had to stay. If Rory didn't stay, because think about what was happening at that time when LIV was gobbling up DeChambeau and Rahm and Koepka, and if he goes with them, then you're probably cooked. And so I do think that and I've talked about this before, I think because Tiger then had accidents, addiction, and all of these issues that kept him from playing, and then just age, Rory basically had to stand there by himself, because he's the only one of the guys who stayed whose game didn't slip. He remained one of the best players in the world. Spieth's game slipped. Justin Thomas's game slipped. You couldn't rely on them because they weren't at the top of their game at that time. Rory's game stayed the same, and so he became the singular face of the resistance to LIV. And that's not something that he asked for, but that's a burden that he had to carry. And whatever you think of him or whatever, that part you have to acknowledge.
So, to me, this is not a thing. This is just a guy trying to sell his book. Also, did it help that Rory stayed? Absolutely. But if Rory had left, the PGA Tour wouldn't have died. And it wouldn't have died for a couple reasons. One, Scotty Scheffler was around right then, and he doesn't have the popularity that Rory does, but he was playing golf at a level that we hadn't seen since Tiger Woods. Also, you couldn't find LIV Golf. You didn't know where to go to get it. So if you wanted to watch golf, you were watching the PGA Tour because it was accessible to you. So I don't think that was all true. And Tiger and a certain golf reporter walked, so Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini could run. So I think he's a little off on his last part there, too.
Well, you meant Rory, right? You were throwing Rory? Yeah, not Tiger.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Rory, not Tiger.
The one thing on Scheffler, though, Scheffler's not, when this whole thing all starts, Scheffler's not Scheffler. He didn't get his first PGA Tour win until 2022. So he's not Scheffler when this is all starting. He became Scotty while all of this was going on, and he was someone who wasn't willing to fight the fight. Really wasn't. It was pretty much Rory. Every tournament he went to, I saw it here, every tournament he went to, he had to be the face of the PGA Tour.
I saw this in the Columbus Dispatch yesterday, and real foodies will know, but the Michelin Guide announced that Cleveland's going to be a part of its new American Great Lakes Regional Guide. marking the first time a city in Ohio will be included in Michelin's restaurant ratings. The new regional edition will cover 6 cities: Cleveland, Detroit, Indianapolis, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, and Pittsburgh. The Michelin Guide's a restaurant guide that's been published by the French tire company Michelin since 1900. It awards up to 3 Michelin stars for excellence to select a few restaurants in certain geographic areas. Michelin inspectors are already in the field dining anonymously, with the inaugural restaurant selections to be revealed in 2027. The Michelin Guide first launched in North America with New York in 2005. It's in cities like Chicago, California, Florida, Texas, and the American South. It's best known for its 1, 2, and 3-star ratings. Thing or not a thing?
Massive deal.
Columbus soon?
I mean, I can't believe we're not in this. Cleveland's a great food city. The ethnic, diversity allows for that, and it's tremendous. Michael Simon up there has had restaurants through the years. There's others too. I'm a little. It'd be nice if we were on this. Wonder how we didn't get included. Like they hopped over us. They went from Indy to Pittsburgh. Do you think that's like NFL?
Well, Columbus does get passed over for concerts as opposed to Cleveland and Cincinnati. So I understand from big
kind of this. What do you think that is? Like this sense that we're not as big as we are? Like there's better restaurants in Columbus than there is in Indy. Trust me. I don't know Pittsburgh as well. Indy's got like 2 places. So the idea that, we've got dozens. We're definitely better than Indy. I can't speak to Pittsburgh. I haven't had a lot of fine dining in Pittsburgh.
This is not a thing to me because the Michelin Guide was never in a Saturday Night Live skit with Adam Sandler and Chris Farley. So when I want to rate restaurants, I go to Zagat.
Zagat, yeah,
that's my restaurant rater.
That's how you do it. Man, you get one of these, it's like getting the Wonka golden ticket, though. Like if a restaurant in Cleveland gets one of these, good luck trying getting a reservation in that place for a year because they sell them out if you get one of those Michelin stars. That is a kingmaker if you get one of those things. We'll get you updated on the Masters, which is underway down at Augusta National. And Todd Monken opening his first OTA as head coach of the Browns. His thoughts on Miles not being there, the quarterbacks, among other things. We'll get to it all coming up in the final hour. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
If the sound of another man slammed against plexiglass turns you on, you've come to the right place. Proud to be your home for Jackets hockey. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And you can clip and save more with digital coupons in the Kroger app. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's always easy to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
Kroger makes it easy to save on fuel. Just redeem the points you've earned to save up to $1 a gallon at the pump. See store for details. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
With all that can go wrong at your home, it's enough to make you want to say, oh, brother. With Brothers Roofing and Construction, one call covers it all. Roofing, siding, rotting decks, we cover it all. So visit us online at brothersroofingconstruction.com.
Aetna has been my lifesaver. Easy to understand, and if not, customer service is always there to help.
Those words from a real Aetna Medicare Advantage member speak to why U.S. News & World Report named us a best Medicare Advantage company. Because we show up with care management that ensures doctors work together on complicated conditions. We show up with the latest in online tools to make healthcare easier to use anytime. We show up for you because that's how healthier happens together. Member feedback has been edited for length and clarity.
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
The heat is on its way, and my AC's not brand new. How can I make sure it cools like it's supposed to?
I recommend a tune-up to you and every caller. Experience true comfort for $53.
Get an AC tune-up for $53.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-507-5193. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-507-5193. That's 800-507-5193. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 5.99% APR, 6.02% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3rd-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
When you saw your heating bills this winter, did you think this is out of control? The problem is your house is leaking money, and the only thing higher than your heating bills are your cooling bills. Steve here from USA Insulation. Let us fix your energy bill problem for good. If you aren't foam insulated, you really aren't insulated. For $99 a month, interest-free, we'll foam your home and help cut those energy bills. 529-2440 or USAinsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
Confused as to what to do after an accident? Or perhaps your insurance company is making the repair process difficult to navigate? Call us at Capital Ford Collision Center, where we fix all makes and models. We will work with your insurance company so you don't have to. Visit CapitalFordColumbus.com today.
There's nothing like picking fresh fruits, vegetables, and herbs from your own garden. They're fresh and taste better. Those delicious treats start at Oakland Nursery. Number one size blueberry plants start at just $9.99. Cool season vegetable plants start at $2.99 a pack. Asparagus roots, rhubarb crowns, gooseberries, strawberries, and more. And all of your favorite herbs, too. Premium quality fruit trees start at just $29.99. Fresh fruit in your cereal and yogurt, fresh veggies in your salad, and herbs in your favorite dish. It all starts at Oakland Nursery.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. First round of the 90th Masters underway at Augusta. Patrick Reed leads at 3 under through 3. 4 golfers, including Jose Maria Olazabal, that one off the lead at 2 under. Defending champion Rory McIlroy is even through 1. Scotty Scheffler's your betting favorite. His first round begins around 1:45. In the NHL tonight, the Blue Jackets skate in Buffalo against the Sabres. Hear it on the Fan with coverage at 6:30. Jet Greaves will get the nod in net Thursday. Jackets are 2 points out of a playoff spot. They'll play the Canadiens Saturday in Montreal with 2 at Nationwide to wrap the season. For tonight, Jackets fans are rooting for the Red Wings to beat the Flyers in regulation, and Columbus could do with Florida beating Ottawa in regulation as well. And in baseball Thursday, the Reds battle the Marlins in Miami at 12:10. You can hear that game over on the Fan too. That's 1460 on the AM dial. This update is sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, give Mark Levy a call at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
We'll read your emails on the air, but we won't tell you where to send them. Hey, we're not doing all the work for you. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, final hour here on a Thursday. Shelley time coming up in 28 minutes from now. You'll hear from Todd Monken. Opened his first OTAs as Browns head coach with an availability yesterday as they are up there this week getting some work in. Augusta is underway down in the Masters, rather, is underway in Augusta, Georgia. Patrick Reed, 3 under through 4 in his first round, former champion. Tommy Fleetwood there as well, 3 under par. Jose Maria Olazabal, former champion, at 2 under par at Augusta.
Bryson and his 3D printed club at even through 3.
There you go.
Same with Rory. He's even through 1. Dustin Johnson, 1 under through 4. I like saying it. Jose Maria Olazabal, 2 back through 10.
Great name. What would be the best for golf? What's the best win for golf this weekend?
Playoff,
Bryson?
Rory, Bryson.
Yeah, probably. Probably would be those two.
Yeah, I think Bryson. I think if Bryson won, because you guys have both talked. Bo, you talked about your kids. They
love
know
him.
who he is, and they're asking him because of the YouTube. There's a whole another level to Bryson DeChambeau. It kind of sucks that we don't get to see him every week, unless you're searching out Live Golf to watch him play. But he's got a popularity that's different than just the golf fan that tunes in every week.
I think Scotty Larkin going into Sunday.
Yeah,
if he's a couple off the lead and he starts to get hot, you get the casuals to really dial in Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, it's the Bryson thing's pretty interesting because it speaks to kind of the dual realities we can live in sometimes. If you are of a certain age and you're not somebody who's on social media, which God bless you, if you're one of those folks, like you would have no point of reference on how Bryson DeChambeau became popular. If you only watched golf, that's all you watched, and you weren't seeking out the live content, if that was the case, it'd take some convincing to understand how he went from heel to face, how he went from, kind of the way that he was. And remember just the off-putting behavior with him and Koepka 5-6 years ago? Like, from that to like people chanting USA, USA around him, it's a remarkable thing, and it's the YouTube that did it. He was smart enough to open that up. I was watching the Golf Channel does a great job with their, Day at the Masters. I think they just call it At the Masters is what they call it. And Brandel Chambly's on that, can at times be about as incorrigible as you'd expect somebody named Brandel Chambly to be. But he did have a really interesting point about how Bryson is in a negotiation with Liv right now. Because Koepka came back, Reed is coming back. There's talk that Rahm wants to come back to the PGA Tour. All of those guys got their money, so they'll, obviously they'll find a way to be penalized when they do come back, and Reed and Koepka are doing that. Bryson is in negotiations with Liv right now, and Chambly was saying he wants $500 million to stay at Liv.
It's nice to want things.
And he's content that, like, if he just does the YouTube stuff and plays the majors, that's enough. Obviously, financially, that would be plenty enough. And maybe he can be the one who doesn't need to play on the PGA Tour. Maybe that's something that, from a want standpoint, that doesn't click for him.
Hey, you don't know if you don't ask, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm literally watching Masters coverage on ESPN right now in here, and they have The Miz. They're interviewing The Miz. Laura Rutledge and The Miz are sitting there in front of the azaleas, and
all white suit, Masters green tie, Masters green pocket square.
Really?
Like the reverse kind of works for me.
I don't even know if that's not even a Masters green, is it? That's like
the tie or the pocket square?
The tie definitely is. The pocket square is something totally different.
Sure.
So Miz is in a white suit?
Mm-hmm.
All white suit, shirt.
He's obviously promoting WrestleMania, so they're not going to have anybody come out and hit him with a chair at Augusta.
The synergy of it all.
But
I always forget.
Yep, next weekend.
Who would have ever guessed promoting WrestleMania at the Masters?
ESPN better be careful with this stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
No, I need to see a ladder match at Amen Corner. Put the title up on one of the trees.
Oh, God. Be careful, boys. Be careful. What they giveth, they taketh away with no warning. Jim Nance ain't doing that. I'll tell you that. He's not reading a WrestleMania promo for his operation. But that's that cross-pollination that they love. Right? I mean, this has been happening in sports forever. Like, that's the reason that the famous Rob Lowe gif of him in the NFL hat at the Super Bowl, because he was launching a show. They take a picture of him, and he's wearing an NFL hat to not upset anybody else. We had Paul Finebomb on in the last hour, and I didn't know if he had covered Augusta or not, but the thinking in my head was I knew he was a newspaper man at the Birmingham News for a long time before he became a sports talk radio personality, and my hunch would be that, like me in Tallahassee, if you were in those smaller towns, and Birmingham a lot bigger than Tallahassee, but you get the point, if you're in one of those smaller southern towns, it's almost a rite of passage to cover Augusta. So I asked Paul if he did, and he recanted this story.
To tell you the truth, I didn't know what was a guy who had covered golf in the newspaper had died, so I was kind of a last-minute replacement. And I went into a place and sat down and ordered lunch, and there was nobody in there. because I told you, I was told you could do that. You could go into a lot of places. I didn't realize until I started seeing some very familiar names that I was in the players' lounge at Augusta next. So when the bill came for my, burger and fries, I really didn't know what to do. I was afraid I'd get kicked out if I said I was in the wrong place. And I will tell this for the first time. I signed the check, Arnold Palmer.
Did you really?
And got up and ran. And so Palmer got stiff for about a $9 burger.
That is great. That is great. And everybody I've talked to who's covered it has echoed similarly that once you're and he also in that interview talked about how he had to get on a private plane to get there Sunday. That echoes my comments about the story that happened to me in Tallahassee, where like if you give up covering it, you're out. Like you can't ever miss. You've got to go every year. You have to pick up your credentials or you'll never get it again. So he had to cover Michael Jordan's debut at the Birmingham Barons on a Friday. Flew to Augusta to be able to pick up his credentials for Sunday because if he didn't pick them up, Augusta's like, you're out. You're done. But everybody I've talked to who has covered it has said once you're in there, it's freewheeling. Like you can go anywhere you want to go. They don't look for credentials because everyone there that is, they look for credentials, but in terms of once you have one, you can go anywhere.
I'm wondering with Arnold Palmer and if Paul did that just thinking off the top of his head, or maybe he heard somebody that would gave I don't know where he would have heard doing that before. But like if Arnold Palmer gets a bill from Augusta, does he even take a look at it? Like does any of those guys? Like they're just the bill, okay. What do you want me to do with it? Send it to I got a person for that. Yeah, or I'll sign. Here, whatever. Here's your autograph, kid.
It's also reasonably priced that they're not worried about that, in any way, shape, or form.
Unless you're drinking wine with Rory, but.
Right. Yeah, that would be kind of the one thing. What would be if you guys went, what would be your menu purchase item from a food perspective? So you got the pimento cheese, you got the egg salad, you got the chicken sandwich, you got a barbecue pork, and then for dessert, you've got that peach ice cream sugar cookie.
I'm just doing all my calories in the peach cookie ice cream sandwich. That's it. Beer and peach ice cream sandwiches.
I think I'd go with the chicken sandwich. Don't they have like some breakfast foods too? Some of their breakfast biscuit and everything I bet that's pretty good down there.
So their sandwiches they have are the egg salad, the pimento cheese. They're both $1.50. Pork barbecue, Masters Club, chicken salad on honey wheat, ham and cheese on rye, and then classic chicken. And then for breakfast, you've got chicken biscuit, breakfast sandwich for $3, blueberry muffin, fresh mixed fruit. If I was doing the full day, I'm starting with that breakfast sandwich.
Yeah, I'm guessing that chicken biscuit down in the South. It's got to be quality.
If that mixed fruit just had Georgia peaches, like wouldn't that be the win there? Or they're not in season.
No. Well, I don't know that, but they have. I looked into this. It's like watermelon, kiwi, pineapple, and grapes are in the mixed fruit salad there.
Okay.
And then your lunches are as follows. So I would probably go breakfast sandwich to start. And I would probably do one of the iconic ones, be it the egg salad or the pimento. I don't mind egg salad. I'd probably go egg salad as the lunch. Everybody down there says that the classic chicken is the real winner. Pimento cheese. You guys have had that, right?
I have not. So I'd probably get that down there to try it.
I haven't had it down there.
You've had it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. They make there's a sandwich in the South that I've had. I haven't had it in 20 years.
Was it from Publix? Because that was my first pimento cheese experience.
They love it at Publix. No, I want to say it was at a different place, but it was a pimento cheese, ham, tomato, and onion on a croissant that was pretty good that I've had down there before. A lot of good stuff, though. By the way, Rory to 1 under, DeChambeau for birdie on 2 as it stands, or 3 rather as it stands right now. Rory just birdied 2 to get to 1 under. Here's DeChambeau for birdie, and he misses, so he does not. He will stay at even par. You'll hear from Browns head coach Todd Monken as he opens his first OTAs. What does he like about his quarterbacks? Will there be a pecking order, and is he bothered by Myles Garrett not being there? We'll get to all of that coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
Low testosterone can be a real problem for many men. It causes poor sleep patterns, decreased energy, low sex drive, and it makes it really hard to stay in shape. And as we all know, a healthy body is very important to our overall health and well-being. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if some or all of these symptoms sound like you, we can likely help you be done with low T. We can also help you lose weight, support your metabolism, improve your gains in the gym, and more with our new targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, and more. Our low T protocols, applied in conjunction with our body composition plans, will help most men see real improvements, true weight loss, higher energy, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and a renewed sex drive as well. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Hey there, friends. It's Bo Bishop here. You know High Bank for their award-winning spirits, but the food deserves just as much love. Enjoy happy hour with friends, brunch with family, and dinner that never misses. Make your reservation today at highbankco.com. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
Our yoga instructor challenged us to find inner peace. I found it faster than anyone. After 4 seconds, I stood up and screamed, "I found Nirvana! I win!" They asked me to leave. I guess they don't respect winning. Bet365 does, though. New customers get $200 in bonus bets just for betting $10. Namaste, losers. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending, the original home of the no-cost mortgage. If you've been in the market for a new home or just wanted to take advantage of lower rates, recent events have shown exactly why Miller Lending chose to offer a way around bad timing with our no closing cost program. With no fees rolled in or charged, including the cost of title insurance, you can simply close on today's rates and refinance free of charge as rates improve. Over the past several months, we spoke to numerous borrowers who had heard rates were coming down and chose to wait. We explained that if rates did fall, you could simply update a few documents and refinance again, but why take the chance? So when rates spiked 0.5% recently, not only was I disappointed that we couldn't help those who waited, but also for those buying a home who just saw a sharp increase to their monthly payment. So while we can't control the market, we can offer an alternative. Eliminate timing and say goodbye to closing costs forever. 877-9-NO-COST, or simply apply online at nocostmortgage.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
Morning Juice is now live on YouTube. Join Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Thidoff weekday mornings from 6 to 8.
Just search 971 The Fan to catch the live experience or watch on demand.
The Fan.
Spring is here, and there's no better place to make memories than the Columbus Zoo. See tigers up close, watch playful otters, and see the baby elephants in action. For a limited time, take advantage of our Zoo After 2 p.m. deal. Plan your adventure at columbuszoo.org.
Do you have foot pain? Foot pain is not normal regardless of your age or job. Podiatric physicians are the most qualified doctors to care for your feet and can provide important foot care solutions or shoe inserts to better manage foot pain. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state and are dedicated to providing the highest quality foot and ankle care. We've been serving the profession and the public for over 100 years. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Plenty of sunshine for us today. A beautiful day ahead and warm with highs in the mid to upper 70s and breezy winds. We get mostly clear skies tonight with our lows in the 50s. And then for Friday, we will see a partly sunny day with chances of showers and storms developing in the afternoon and evening. Winds will be breezy and highs in the mid 70s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 weather impact forecast.
During this 10-second promo, Rothman will lose money gambling on something.
People like you come here and blow the family nest egg that built this town.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan. Find us on YouTube. Search WBNS Radio and you can see what Bo looks like. But only if you subscribe. This is Bishop and Friends.
10 NFL teams with new coaches. What that means is you get an extra week of OTAs. The Baltimore Ravens started on Monday. Everybody else started on Tuesday. Todd Monken was available yesterday up in Berea as he begins his first time as the head man up there in charge of the OTAs. Obviously, the number one question is going to come down to those quarterbacks. Here was Todd on what he's seen from all three so far.
What we got into for sure. I mean, each day they're going to gain more and more information of what we do and what we expect. I was fired up. I mean, I thought all three guys were bright-eyed, wanted to learn. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better start in that QB room.
They obviously can't do anything on the field right now, so what this is working out. It's film study. It's install of offense. Here's our terminology. Here's what's going to look like. Monken was asked if he has a pecking order at quarterback. He said it's too early for that.
I mean, there's enough there to really like Deshaun, the way he plays. And there's enough there to really like the way Shedeur played at the back end of the year. And there's enough early in the year from Dylan that is playing the position at a very high level. So I don't see it as, it's been brought up a lot more to me than really what I think about. Other than, someone's going to have to start off first, and someone's going to go second, and someone's going to go third. And then we'll be willing to switch that. That's easily, on a daily basis, what we see, just like any position. That's not set in stone. That's something we can flip, just like the practice face. We can flip that any given day to how we see fit that gives us the best chance to develop our players. Now, how they go about it, how they study, how they take care of their body, how they manage our team, how they lead, those are set in stone. Those are non-negotiables.
If I could have the real truth on anything, and Todd is a direct guy. You ask him a direct question, you'll get a direct answer. He's not going to answer this totally honestly right now. And I'm sure that he is very open-minded on all three quarterbacks. But I have to imagine in the hiring process, the question was posed to him, what do you think of these three quarterbacks? And once that question is posed to him, he formulates a prejudice on how to judge them. You would have to put yourself in his position. What do you think of the three quarterbacks? He would know if he's interviewing the job what they're all about. He might not know them personally, but he would know the tape. He knows what they can do and what they can't do. He knows what he would like this to look like. He's not going to say it now, nor would anybody expect him to, right? I mean, you're going to have a competition. But I don't think that you will see something in August where there are these three guys vying for the starting quarterback job of the Cleveland Browns. There will be two, and there will be somebody on the outside looking in. How he views Deshaun versus Shedeur versus Dylan, he's not going to give you that. You can ask him as direct of answers he could, and you wouldn't expect him to. But he knows kind of the way he'd like to see it go. That's just human nature. It'd be stunning if he didn't.
He's seen coach so much football.
Yeah.
You get a good gut sense almost right away after the first day of seeing all of them kind of operate in the same parameters. I'm even wondering if all three are going to be in the room come training camp. I always get I get the strong sense that he's going to want to bring somebody else in that he has a say over. It just feels like he didn't pick any of these three to be in that room. So at least one of the competing quarterbacks he's at least going to want to have some say in. So I think a lot can change between now and the start of camp. And also, what they do at 6, I think, is so important because it gives you a better opportunity to judge this. If you have an incredible talent like Carnell Tate, then you've got a weapon for the quarterbacks to not mess things up with. Or I guess even a better chance of, hey, I've got this elite talent at wide receiver. We've got elite running back. We've got an offensive line that we think is better or has at least been improved from last season. Which one operates better in those parameters?
I'm just glad that Todd Monken mentioned Dylan Gabriel, just for the fact that I don't think anybody's mentioned Dylan Gabriel in 6 months.
Yeah.
It's all Shedeur or Deshaun who's going to start for the Browns. I was kind of wondering if Dylan Gabriel was even still on the team because nobody talks like he is at all. And again, I don't.
When you say nobody, though, it's important to note that is the media covering the Browns.
For sure, absolutely.
It's not the organization.
Absolutely.
It's the people that cover it.
Absolutely. But it seems like everybody forgets that he was drafted before Shedeur, and he's the one that got the first try. And maybe you saw enough to just totally dismiss him. I don't personally believe you're winning with any of these quarterbacks, especially this season. And Reese, I'm kind of with you. I don't know if Todd Monken goes into this season without at least one quarterback he picked to be in this room.
Yeah, That's why I said, like, the real truth on the hiring process would be fascinating. Like, can you win with these guys?
Yeah, you just keep thinking to yourself, like, he's had that conversation with Andrew Berry of, like, I want to bring in somebody. Let me do it somehow.
Yeah, unless he likes one of them. He only needs to like one of them. So I think that'll be very, very fascinating to see how all of that goes. Now, the other thing that got some attention up there yesterday was the fact that Myles Garrett is not there. Todd was asked about that, and here was his answer.
Well, first of all, as I've said before, this is voluntary for our players to be here. I think if you asked every coach in the NFL would they like every player to be there, that of course. I think there's certain parts of what we do from a connection standpoint, that I think is important to be here. From a schematic standpoint, from a work standpoint, not so much. And it is our job to make it to where the guys want to be here. I mean, not just by the job, but by their development, by the camaraderie, being part of a team. I mean, hell, I've been part of a team since I've been 5 years old. There's nothing like it. I wouldn't miss it because that's me. That's how I'm wired. But it is voluntary. Myles will be ready. I'm not worried about Myles.
This is what I wish the NFL would do on this, and I wish that they would do it from a collectively bargained perspective. I think that the problem here, OTA stands for optional team activity. But it's covered as if you don't go, it's a big problem. Todd was very candid there. Would every NFL coach want every single player at their first OTAs? You better believe they would. Of course they would. Does he wish Myles was there? Yeah, of course. It's his first OTAs. You'd like to have the face of the franchise there. Is that going to affect how Myles plays in the fall? No, it will not. And I think sometimes it just comes down to labeling. And in terms of mandatory, they only have to be at 3 days. Mandatory minicamp in June. That's it. Everything else is optional. It all is. And I do wonder if it would be smarter for the league, because this is content that in many instances can be skewed as negative. Would the NFL benefit from just having more mandatory, less OTAs? Like, if you want to be there, you can be there. And Bob's right, corrects me on this. It's organized team activity, but it's not voluntary. I got the O wrong. Appreciate you, buddy. But the reality is that if you just said, okay, there are 10 days in an off season where you need to be there, and if for a new coaching hire, you get 15 days when you got to be there, and everything else, we're open for business, we're working. If you want to be here, great. If not, don't worry about it. I think that would maybe be a little bit of an easier way than this, because there is such a stigma about guys not being there for a voluntary activity. And it comes across negatively. And if you just said, well, we need more time in the offseason, it's not that much to ask, really, guys, when you think about it. If you were a team that didn't make the playoffs, you've been off since January.
Would that be
something? You're gonna be off. If you don't go to these OTAs, you're going to be off in May. You're going to be off a couple of weeks in June and a couple of weeks in July. So there's a lot of downtime.
Would they have to collectively bargain that, though?
They would. Yeah, they would. This was part of the last CBA, which got all of this OTA stuff in it that's all voluntary. There's only 3 days that you got to be there in the offseason.
Make the trade next time the CBA's up. More OTAs. Maybe. We don't test you for weed.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they do that much. Bob's got a pretty good, and this is what I thought it was. He's texting right now, and this had to do with the 17th game. Giving back the offseason was the owner's concession to take money back and get a 17th game. Owners could care less about this. He's exactly right on that. Owner about this, but I think that it creates undue negative on your organization when a guy doesn't show up for something that's voluntary. And I think you just avoid it if you just gave him a little more.
I will say this about all of this as a Browns fan and just in general. Am I worried about Myles Garrett? No, I'm not. I think Myles Garrett's going to come in and do what he does, and he's going to be fine. But as a team with a new coach, a new offense, a new defense, a new defensive coordinator, I would want my guys there, and I would especially want my team leaders there. Yeah. I mean, I would think as a player, I would want to get in there and I would want to learn things as quick as possible and help myself out, especially on a team like the Browns that hasn't been very good. And you could probably get a spot. Now, Myles has his spot. But I would just think as a team leader, I would want him there kind of leading the charge.
For sure you would. Yeah, they want him there. I mean, I'm sure they do. Todd wants him there. And again, that just goes back to if you just change the phrasing around it. Maybe they do that the next time we do a CBA, and then you get rid of some of this undue negative attention that sometimes occurs this time of year. All right, coming up in 2 minutes, the Jackets back at it. It was a must-win last time out. We coined it that way. This one feels like it, too. They all are. A little bit of Shelley time coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 5.99% APR, 6.02% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3rd-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn, skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
As the seasons change, it's time to prep your HVAC system with a $49 seasonal tune-up from Columbus Worthington Air. A seasonal tune-up can help save money on your energy bill and help prevent expensive breakdowns. As your local home service experts, everything we do is backed by our exceptional service guarantee. It all adds up to dependable service from neighbors you trust. Columbus Worthington Air and Bryant Heating and Cooling. Whatever it takes. Visit cwaohio.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 47543.
The Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub, home of award-winning pizza and 32-ounce Yingling drafts for only $4. The gloves. It's Shelley time.
Boy, another massive one tonight, coming off of a massive one last time out in Detroit. In Buffalo tonight, we find Mr. Shelley. Before we get into all the hockey, have you been to Augusta National?
No, I haven't. And the timing is tough for me, you know. But next year, hopefully with the season starting earlier and maybe it ending earlier, maybe I'll time it out. My son is graduating next year. He's a big golfer.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is plan on maybe taking him there.
Oh, baby.
For a Thursday, Friday. Baby. I don't have to be there Saturday, Sunday, but Thursday, Friday would be perfect.
Even the practice rounds would be awesome. Because you could
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday?
Yeah, man. Then you could kind of cruise around and really have the run of the place a little bit on Thursday, which would be on Wednesday. Yeah. You got the par 3 and all of that. You could really walk the course.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Did you watch it as a kid?
Yeah. I mean, I watched Sundays, like a little bit. When Tiger was hot, I watched it for sure. I guess I wasn't a kid, but
yeah.
I remember watching it. I mean, it's the one that it's just so magical. It seems like there's that magic about it that it just kind of draws you to it.
It does. It absolutely does. Speaking of magic, pretty magical in Detroit, my friend. Mearsy was. I was on the edge of my seat the entire thing, and you start to lose hope. It's like one face-off after another. You keep losing them, and then Monahan wins one. And then it gets all the way to Fantilli, from Marchenko to Z to Fantilli, and he buries it, and we're tied with 16 seconds left. And if we get in this thing, Jode, I think it's going to be that play. And there were a bunch of them. I mean, Jet had the 2 breakaways that he stopped, the shootout with Zach on one skate, all of that stuff. But, my God, that's as big a face-off moment as we've had in this season. And I coined it. I thought you had to win it. I just think you're running out of time. And they did. What was that moment like for you? Did you lose hope?
No. When they scored that goal with under 5 minutes left, I was curious to see what was going to happen. I was like, boy, this is it. And then, I watched Charlie Coyle in a battle. Like, he was not going to lose the battle. The next shift in the offensive zone. And then you could just see, like, they were just icing the puck. Detroit was just trying to ice the puck. And there was two of those icings that almost didn't make it over. Like, could have been waved off in my mind, but they didn't. And if one of those would have got waved off, it would have been a different story. But it was, everything just aligned. Everything worked out, and they got the goal. And how about Coyle having to score to keep the shootout alive?
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. You know what I mean? So, but it's going to be like this the rest of the way. There's going to be more moments here the rest of the way if they do get in that you're going to say, like, wow, how about that moment? But that's the biggest one I've seen in a long time for the Blue Jackets in desperation. And I love the desperation in the last 2 minutes. And I hope they start the game like that tonight. Like, that's another level of fighting for it.
And I think you have always been such a big fan of Monahan and his operation. He takes a high stick to the face, and then it's him out there, and he finds a way to get his stick on top of, and that gets a redirect, which gets you to Marchenko. You always talk about the little things, buddy. Sometimes it's the most minute detail, isn't it?
Isn't it? It always is. And you know what? It's usually the goal isn't like, you don't usually see one play that leads to a goal. It's a play and then another play. Like, one mistake usually turns into 2 or 3. And that was the evolution from the other side of that, where you lose the face-off, you leave Fantilli open. It was just the whole sequence for the Detroit Red Wings went the other way. And it's right. It's the littlest thing. And that's why Kucherov is so good, because he works on the littlest things in his game, picking up pucks off the wall, playing with one hand on his stick. All these little tiny details. You ever watch some of these players, it's incredible.
Jet Greaves stopped not one but 2 breakaway goals that would have, I mean, the one in overtime obviously ends it. The one in regulation would have iced it. What a moment for that kid.
Oh, I know. He's a rookie. He's a 25-year-old undrafted rookie. He's a special person. And I think he's infectious. You hear people talk about energy. They're all energy. He has an aura and an energy about him that is calm and peaceful. A little bit like Bobrovsky, where he's he's in his own space. He's in the moment, and he lives there. No matter what is going on around him, he lives there. And I think that is infectious throughout this team. He's going to get to start again here tonight. Looks like the lines are going to be the same, but Zanula is going in. Took out today here from the KeyBank Center in Buffalo. Okay. But yeah, Jet is he's been a calming, sturdy influence back there for the Blue Jackets.
I wanted to ask you about this, too, because it's so unique to hockey. Kent Johnson was on the one line. He only played 9 minutes in the game, and obviously this season has not gone the way that any of us thought it would go for him, and he's obviously struggling with all of that and ice time and all of it. But he goes first in the shootout. Jody, he didn't even have a bead of sweat on his forehead because he barely played if he played at all in the third. And you have to set the tone, and he goes out there as if there was no doubt. And I guess that's one of those things where you're a professional, go be one, and he buries it. But, like, just the mentality, like, you have one job. This hasn't gone right, but we really need to start this thing on the right foot, and he did.
Yep, that's his go-to. And there was a game earlier this year that went to a shootout not too long ago. He was not in the lineup, and, I saw him after, and I just kind of winked at him. And, he knows. He knows what to do out there. And I think Marchenko tried the same move because they both have that move, and that didn't go Marchenko's way. But, yeah, you're right. For Kent Johnson, it's like he made a couple plays the other night where, like, this is now straight-ahead hockey season. Straight ahead, and make the first play you see. Like, he was down in the corner, and instead of just putting the puck up to the D, he tried to spin out of there and lost the puck, and then they were coming out of the offensive zone. It's like those little things. If he would just play that straight ahead game, he'd be way more effective 5-on-5. So he's on a tight leash because of those plays. Like, you've got to win the battle now. You've got to take the easy oxygen. There's no time and space, and hopefully tonight against this high flying Buffalo Sabres team, he keeps it simple and plays more than 9 minutes.
there's a lesson there. We'll see if he can take it. You mentioned the Sabres team. They played last night. They won. They are 2 points clear in the Atlantic, 104 points. They're 2 points behind Carolina for the number one spot in the Eastern Conference. The problem is, and I alluded to this last week, the last time we talked, every team you play has something to play for. So you're not going to get anybody's half-ass at this point. You're going to need everybody's best. As we currently sit, we're 2 points out of the final wild card with Ottawa. The idea of Buffalo coming off of a back-to-back is at least some portion of good news. And you mentioned this last time we talked, 2 days off between games. That helps a little bit too, probably. That's the first time they got that. They got that leading into Detroit. What's your kind of feel on this matchup tonight with this Buffalo team that's one of the best in the league?
Well, first of all, I'm really excited to be in Buffalo and see. I've heard this building is now back and electric and full. I'm excited to see that because it's one of the great sporting markets in the world. You know, these fans they've been dying for this 14-year playoff drought to end. So I'm excited for that. The matchup, they're a high transition team, meaning their defense are up the ice all night long. They're going to be fast and behind RD. RD have got to be alert. I say RD. I mean the Blue Jackets D. And yeah, they'll make you pay for turnovers. So they're confident, they're fast, and they've got toughness. I like what they've done here. A couple of their players aren't afraid or aren't shy of the battle. So for the Blue Jackets side, I think it's a perfect matchup. It drags them into the fight. They know what's coming at them. They're going to have a game plan. They've got to play quick. That's the key here. The Blue Jackets have had a tough time with pressure, and how you beat pressure is quick decisions. You know, because you can get Buffalo running around and take advantage of them. I expect we'd see Alex Lyon tonight. He didn't play last night in that. It was Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, my favorite name to say in the National Hockey League. Great name. They call him UPL, but I don't go with that. I go Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
That's great, dude. That's great. That's good. Yeah, we're not shorting it. You're a pro. You're a Big B broadcaster. You can handle that, buddy.
Rolls off your tongue.
Really does. All right, so massive matchup for both. You had mentioned you mentioned this in passing a little bit. Sounds like lines, everything stays the same. Jet and net, all of that.
Yeah, Jet's in. Zamula is in for Christensen. It looks like on D.
Okay,
he was paired out there with Goodbranson, and then you're going to see that line of Fantilli, Sillinger, and Johnson again. So it's going to be a big night.
Massive night. Pick to click, buddy, and we need it to click.
I kept saying in the broadcast, get the puck to Zach Werenski. And just do it. You know, like he calms everything down. He makes the right play. If I'm on the ice with him, I'm looking for him all the time. Who's going to click tonight? I think Sillinger is overdue. Let's go with Sillinger. Number 4.
Come on, buddy. Let's go 4.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go 4.
Let's go 4. One of the last thing, and I'll get you out of here on this. One of the things, and I'll be careful here, and I advise you to as well. One of my things that I wish became a part of more language when it comes to celebratory stuff is the Canadian FNA rights. Fantilli gave a big FNA rights after the goal, which I just wish more people said it. That's a Canadian thing, right?
Oh, for sure. Eh?
Yeah. Yeah, right?
For sure.
So good. I told my
I
14-year-old after going into his lacrosse game, I'm like, I think you got to try working this in because I know you're dropping F-bombs out there. You might next time you score a goal, just work in one of those. Be original with your celebratory F-bombs.
Oh, it's a process. You just got to stick with it.
That's a good drop in there. All right, buddy. Bring home another win, and then Montreal on Saturday. So all of these are massive.
Road trip.
Yeah, that place will be nuts. Like $300 to get into that place. I'm already looking at tickets.
Crazy tonight.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah. Well, I can't go to Montreal, but that would be a scene to go to that game. All right, buddy. Bring home some wins.
All right. They got it tonight. Have a great day.
There he goes. A little bit of Shelley time on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Get you 3 things on a Thursday. Up next, Bishop and Friends, right here on the Fan.
File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction or your money back. File in the Credit Karma app.
This Ohio State football spring practice report is brought to you locally on the Fan by Roosters and by your Ohio Kubota dealers.
Ohio State football spring practice report.
Among the new faces on Ohio State's coaching staff this spring is senior analyst Joe Kim, who will work with the defensive line. A longtime pass rush specialist and 7th-degree black belt in Taekwondo, Kim has coached over 2 decades in the NFL and comes from the same Bill Belichick coaching tree as defensive coordinator Matt Patricia.
He just brings a level of expertise not only to the line, defense, offensive line, skilled players, a lot of combat drills like hand-to-hand work, and he's just evolved his entire career over the last 30 years in the NFL of taking his background and then applying it to what that looks like with, the violence of the game and what that looks like in the NFL for sure. So to be able to get that here in college, I think is great. It just gives our guys that head start.
Kim comes to Ohio State after 1 season at Illinois. This report was brought to you by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center and by Weber Grills. I'm Tyler Danberg on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Buckeye fans, game day just got hotter. Whether you're parked in the shoe lot or grilling at home, it's not a tailgate without Weber Grill's Traveler Grill. Fires fast, folds flat, fits compact, and delivers championship flavor every time. Burgers, brats, steaks, even rival fans agree. Bring the taste of victory wherever you grill. The Weber Traveler Grill. Tailgate tough. Buckeye proud. Weber Grills. Taste the tradition. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Nobody has more all-wheel drive or electrified hybrid choices than Toyota, including the roomy, built-in-the-USA Grand Highlander. Now through May 4th, get 4.99 APR financing on any new 26 Grand Highlander. Or lease a new Grand Highlander Hybrid XLE for $459 a month for 36 months with $39.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
I love Right Pack Credit Union because they're solution driven. I feel valued as a member.
They're focused on the latest technology and the personal connections.
Experience benefits that go beyond banking with Right Pack Credit Union. Just ask our actual members.
I definitely recommend Right Pack to all my family and friends as a credit union of choice.
Visit one of our Columbus area Right Pack Credit Union member centers near you. Based on individual members' experiences, results may vary.
Spring cleaning isn't just for your house, it's for your life. If your job is getting old, it's time to clear the clutter and spring into IT. Go to My Computer Career.
My Computer Career helped me get the skills and certifications I needed to start a new life as an IT professional in months, not years.
Earn the certifications that top employers are looking for right now. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation to see if it's time to spring into IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Our top men are working on everything except this show.
We have top men working on it right now. Who? Top men.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, before we get to the poll, Bake, you had mentioned I have a couple questions in the YouTube chat.
Yeah, we even had a couple yesterday. They just want a block blast update.
Oh. So, remember I told you they put that timer on me? Mm-hmm. Where I had to finish the Van Gogh in the time? Well, I thought that was utter nonsense. I had like 4 blocks left to finish the Van Gogh. I click on it. I'm like, I can knock this out. I'll knock these 4 last blocks out. We'll knock out the Van Gogh. Mission accomplished. Delete the app. Away we go. I go to the app. New board. Who dis? Van Gogh gone.
Ooh.
Mission unaccomplished.
You get them next time.
What do you think I did?
You got right back on the saddle, and you rode.
Bake?
I think you went hard.
Deleted it.
Oh.
Gone.
Until.
It's out. Till the next time I'm stuck on a flight without internet.
He's scratching himself.
It's going to be a minute. Kids. Reese, what do you have in the poll?
Daily Fan Poll sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub. It asks, who's your pick to win the Masters over the next 4 days? 69% of respondents say Scheffler, 20% say Bryson, 10% say other. You got Victor Hovland, Xander Schauffele. 0% picked John Rahm, who was one of 3 choices written on the Daily Fan Poll sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub.
I like Schauffele.
Scotty Vegas, very high on John Rahm this weekend.
S. Vegas was not happy with the Republican caucus yesterday either, I noticed, with his gambling.
There's no way that, the language in that's so extreme.
Well, who knows?
Maybe we can get into that tomorrow because it's
no, we will
ridiculous.
not. It's best if we steer clear of that, I think, probably. All right, time for 3 things on a Thursday.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, number 1 for me, my dad is coming to town tonight for a little visit. He's going to be spinning. I mean, we have so many sporting events between AAU basketball and lacrosse over the next 4 days. He's not going to know what's coming, what's going, where he's going. The one thing he ought to know, though, is that the peanut butter is properly labeled. Pops, don't eat the one that says Buddy's peanut butter, don't eat.
You can do all the labeling you want, but if the man doesn't care.
Well, that's how he spun it anyway.
Okay.
No big deal. Won't hurt me. Okay.
Didn't kill me.
Nope.
I pulled this from the file labeled, who's asking about this? Argentina's going to play a World Cup warm-up friendly with Honduras Saturday, June 6th. That's not the who's asking for this, but it's going to be played at Kyle Field, home of Texas A&M. Argentina's also going to play Iceland on Tuesday, June 9th at Jordan-Hare Stadium in Alabama, home of the Auburn Tigers.
Wow.
Would that mean grass?
That's what I'm thinking, Reese. That would be my read on it, is that they wanted to find the most pristine grass to play. Because Messi's still on that team, right? Even though he won it last time, I think he's still on that squad. So I'm sure they wanted the most pristine grass possible to play on, and both those places would have it. That's crazy. Like rolling up it. You imagine like Lionel Messi rolling up into Auburn?
I mean, it'd be like beamed down on another planet almost.
Good grief.
College Station. I couldn't imagine what Argentinians think of that city.
Crazy.
Bo, your story about your dad and the peanut butter reminded me of this story that happened to my buddy probably about a month or a month and a half ago. His mom will come over to their house to let out their dogs at lunchtime. And they had told her, hey, there's some leftovers from dinner in the fridge if you would like to have those. So the mom goes over and lets out the dog, and she texts my buddy's wife and says, hey, the chicken and rice was great. I really enjoyed that. Well, they have an older dog, and they make the dog's dog food, and that was the dog's dog food. She had ate the dog's food and not the leftovers from dinner the night before. I don't know if the dog got the leftover dinner or not, but...
How do you guys, I feel like if any amount of food goes into the refrigerator in our house, it's fair game for anyone, unless said otherwise. I think leftovers are fair game from anyone unless it says, my dad's don't touch.
Do explicitly tells you someone's, it's no, everybody's.
That's where I'm at. Now, there's workplaces where people will eat out of the refrigerator. That's insanity.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Like digging in on people's, that's nuts. But in that instance, yes. Number 2 for me, NBC first lax game of the year last night. They were upset, lost 4-3, took 6 penalties. All 4 goals from the opposition came on being shorthanded from our perspective. That game has grown so fast, and this isn't why they lost. The right team won. But that game has grown so fast that there aren't enough people who officiate it who know it. And one rule of thumb, I would say, that if you have kids who are playing it, if they take on any sort of contact, just go to the ground and you'll get a penalty. unless you have officials who really know what they're doing, kind of the rule of thumb is if you get hit, go to the ground, penalty occurs. It's just kind of that simple. And it's not the guy's fault. There's not enough people who want to do it. Who would want to do it? I get it. But there just aren't enough people who know that sport officiating it, and it makes for tough, especially when you have coaches who really know it. Makes for a tough afternoon sometimes.
You teaching kids to flop like James Harden?
I would. Yeah, I would. I say the same things to the boys in basketball. If you get hit going to the lane for a layup, go to the ground. You'll get a foul every time. Every time.
Second thing for me, the Columbus Aviators are flying to Dallas to take on the Renegades Sunday at noon. You can see that game on ABC. The UFL announced this morning it's going to add 2 more teams by 2028. One of those is going to be in Oklahoma City in a new 10,000-seat stadium that will be built upon entry for one UFL team.
Cool. Very cool.
Sure seems like too soon to be thinking about expansion here, UFL. I don't know. That just to me.
Are you going at close personal friend Mike Rapoli?
He's a billionaire.
I'm not. I hope it all works. I don't want it to just be a lost leader here for him. If you are paying attention to the Columbus Blue Jackets tonight, you may want to know who is playing around them. The New York Islanders are at Toronto, so let's go Maple Leafs. The Ottawa Senators are down in Florida taking on goalie Bob, if he plays. Go Panthers. And then Philadelphia is at Detroit. God, this one is terrible. Definitely root for no overtime. I say root for Detroit, too, because then if you win, you're tied with Philly, and you have that first tiebreaker over them.
Finally, number 3 for me today. On this day in 1865, Robert E. Lee surrendered to Ulysses S. Grant, proud Ohioan. Take that, Finebomb. We've been kicking your ass since 1865, buddy.
It's Arnold Palmer, not Finebaum.
Yeah.
Oregon's in the Big Ten. For some reason, their quarterback's coach, Koa Kai, revealed on Tuesday he asks recruits, quote, "Do you like chocolate ice cream or vanilla ice cream?" He says it reveals a lot about a player's character and their decision-making under pressure. Quote, "The minute the kid pauses, I don't really want that kid because you need to have some type of conviction, right, wrong, or indifferent. So whether you like chocolate or you like vanilla, I don't really care. But if you sit there and say, coach, I don't know what I want. Is it melted? Is it not? What is the brand? So on and so forth," end quote.
He wants decisiveness. Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Hell of a way to do it.
Can imagine him at the NFL Combine asking questions. Don't go anywhere. Rothman and Ice coming up next. They've got Dan Dockich at 1:30, and they're bringing back Gold Jacket Thursday. Former Bear Dan Hampton at 2:30.
Oh, that's a fun one. Enjoy that. We're back tomorrow, Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home